At first base, Lance Berkman in right field will be the cleanup batter. Matt Holliday in left field, the number 5 hitter. David Freese at third base, batting 6th. Yadier Molina catching and hitting 7th. Nick Punto, the second baseman, hitting 8th. And Jaime Garcia, the pitcher, bats 9th in the National League Park. Gary Cederstrom calls the balls and strikes. He's in his 18th year. He is a North Dakota native, and he normally has a small strike zone. Jerry Lane, the crew chief, is at first. Greg Gibson at second. Alfonso Marquez at third, with Ron Culpa working the left field line. Ted Barrett on the right field line. And Buzz Garcia blanked the Rangers for 7 innings on 3 hits his first time out. How much of an advantage is it to the Rangers seeing this lefty the second time in the span of under a week?
Well, I think it's a big advantage, Jerry, from the standpoint that they know what to expect now. Whether Garcia will be as crisp with his pitches remains to be seen, but at least the Ranger hitters know the kinds of movements that he has on his different pitches. And I think for a hitter, that, you know, it's not how hard the guy throws, it's where he's able to put the ball and how his ball moves in different situations.
Is it a bigger advantage for Ranger hitters seeing Garcia the second time than it is for Cardinal hitters seeing Colby the second time?
I think so, because right now you'd have to say Colby is able to execute a little bit better than Garcia is consistently. Now, whether that plays out tonight is a different story, but you know, Colby, I think, has a few more tricks that he can work with the Cardinal hitters than Garcia does with the Ranger hitters.
All right, well, Ian Kinsler is stepping in to start the game. Gary Pettis, the coach at first for Texas. Dave Anderson, the coach at third. Garcia working in short sleeves. Just a couple of inches of red t-shirt sleeves spilling out from underneath his white Cardinals home jersey. Kinsler hitting .294 in the World Series, 5 for 17. He also has 5 walks. Garcia ready to go. On the third base side, he swings to the line, and the first pitch of the ball game is in there for a strike. The third baseman Freese even with the bag. The first baseman Pujols off the line and behind the baseline a couple of feet. Here's the 0-1 to Ian. It's very high. This game started at 7:06. It's 50 degrees. Brought to you by the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, which was recently reviewed by the New York Times. The pitch is a little low. It's what doctors and nurses recommend. Fast, easy, and a great value too. Pick one up for the family at Target and other fine retailers. 50 degrees and no wind. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch. And it missed. It is 3-1.
One other thing, Eric, I want to throw in there. I think the advantage goes to Colby Lewis in another area, and that's the emotion, controlling the emotion. Colby has a lot more experience than Garcia does with that.
3-1 pitch, and he walked him. He missed down low. And Ian Kinsler is aboard to start this ball game. Garcia walked only 1 in his 7 innings last Thursday, and that was Kinsler leading off the 4th inning. He was ultimately stranded at third. And the only Ranger to get that far against Garcia. He's on to start this ball game, and here's Elvis Andrus hitting .286 for the series, 6 for 21. We'll see if Ron Washington has him bunting, looking to get a run early here. The Rangers have not been scoring early in this World Series. Garcia out of a high hold. Comes home, Elvis not bunting, and he takes low and outside for ball 1. And again, Gary Cederstrom is not a guy who gives a lot of borderline calls to the pitcher. In the outfield, it's Holliday in left, Schumacher in center, and Berkman in right. And they're slightly around to the right against Elvis, a right-handed batter. The 23-year-old shortstop from Venezuela waits. Here's the pitch. He runs up to bunt, and he takes a strike. It did not look like a sacrifice attempt from Elvis. He was running up in the box. Dave Anderson goes through the signs at third base. Anderson and Pettis, the base coaches, in long sleeves. Andrus and Kinsler both playing in long sleeves. It's a much nicer night than last night. It was drizzling much of the evening. 1-1 pitch. Fastball outside. Elvis started to swing but was able to keep the hands back. It is 2-1.
Well, this would be a spot where if Ron Washington were inclined to put on a hit and run, this would be it. But, you know, has he gotten over the fact that it hasn't worked lately?
The only one he used in this World Series backfired. Kinsler was caught stealing on a swing and a miss. Here's the pitch. Swung on, and it's lined to left center. It is in there for a base hit. Rounding second, hitting for third is Kinsler. He'll make it without a play as Holliday gets the ball into second. First and third and nobody out. Top of the first and Hamilton coming up. What a chance for the Rangers.
Garcia let the pitch up and out over the plate, and Elvis didn't hit it all that well, but well enough to get in the gap and get down for the single. And one thing you mentioned about Cedarstrom, the whole plate umpire, Eric, very important. His strike zone is small, particularly at the bottom end. He does not call a lot of low pitches for guys that are strikes, and that's going to hurt Garcia.
Well, it's lefty against lefty with Hamilton batting. The infield is a double play depth at second and short. Here's the set by Garcia. The pitch to Josh. Swung on and a hard ground ball. Through on the right side, a base hit. To the left of a diving Punto. In to score is Kinsler. Andrews to third. There's no throw. Hamilton an RBI single. And it's 1-0 Rangers, 3 batters into the ball game.
Well, I think you had said earlier about the Rangers wanting to get Josh Hamilton hot, and what a great time for him to get hot. He got a pitch right down the middle of the plate, and as he wants to do all the time, he's swinging first pitch, and he got a fat one to hit. It's probably a good thing for Garcia. He didn't get that ball airborne. That might have been out of here.
Now Michael Young, they're at double play depth again. He's hitting .211 with a homer, 3 RBIs for the World Series. Beltre on deck, and here's the pitch, and it's a changeup for a strike. And that one was belt high and just scraped the outside edge. Garcia last Thursday threw a lot of cutters in the upper 80s and changeups. He only gave up 3 hits in 7 innings. He's given up 2 hits in 3 batters tonight and walked the other one. 0-1 on Michael. Here it comes. Swung on and missed. He was late on a fastball at 84. The count is 0-2. So the Kinsler leadoff walk has turned into a run. Elvis at third, Hamilton at first, 0-2 on Michael. Garcia, high leg kick, and the pitch swung on and missed. Young chased way high and outside. He went after a fastball, and there's the first out of the inning. It was a big out for Jaime Garcia as he got Michael to expand the zone.
Yeah, Michael tried to hit that ball the other way a little bit. It looked like he was trying to get it elevated and just pulled the trigger a bit late. Really important, though, for Beltre and Cruz now to do something and not make this just a 1-run inning. And put a crooked number up there early.
Adrian hitting .381 in the series, a homer, 2 RBIs. Elvis at third, Hamilton at first, 1-0 Texas. A throw over, Hamilton with a minuscule lead is back. Garcia has a very high leg kick. He can be run on if you guess right. He allowed 15 stolen bases, 3 runners were caught. Yadier Molina, of course, is the best throwing catcher in all of baseball. Nelson Cruz on deck, and the pitch to Beltre, it's very high. He missed with a changeup, and it's ball 1 to Adrian. Adrian had 1 of the 3 hits off Garcia last Thursday in game 2. Kinsler and Young had the other ones. The outfield around to the left against Beltre. The second baseman Punto toward the middle. Pujols holds Hamilton at first. In comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled back as Beltre chased. A fastball high at 92. And the count is 1-1. Garcia out of Reynosa, Mexico. Grew up in Mission, Texas. Went to high school there and makes his home now in McAllen down in the Valley. 22nd round draft pick in 2008. He's 25 years old. 6'2", 215-pounder. 1 ball, 1 strike, the pitch. Swung on and nubbed foul. Off toward the Rangers' third base dugout. And Garcia has gotten ahead 1-2 on Adrian Beltre. So Garcia showing no signs of caving here after the first 3 batters reached. And the singles by Andrews and Hamilton were solid shots. They were line drives. The crowd waving the white rally towels with a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Beltre. And a throw to first base. Hamilton steps back on. Garcia in the regular year, 13 wins, 7 losses, a .356 ERA. And as Brian Dolgan told you, a much better pitcher at home than on the road. He was 9-4 in here with a .255 earned run average. This is a pitcher's park. The ball was not carrying well during batting practice despite the lack of wind. Here's the 1-2, and Beltre takes a little low. To the anguish of the huge crowd here at Busch, 2 balls, 2 strikes. A double play would get Garcia out of the inning. And he is a ground ball pitcher. Gets far more outs on the ground normally than he does in the air. 2-2 on Adrian. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball, nubbed foul off to the left. That ball was bouncing as Beltre chased a terribly low curveball. but was able to spoil it. The home plate umpire, Gary Cederstrom, has the long sport coat on tonight. The base umpire is wearing windbreakers and gloves. No doubt several layers underneath those black windbreakers with white and blue trim around the shoulders. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, way outside. Beltre wouldn't chase that one. The count has gone full, and now we'll see if Josh Hamilton takes off on the pitch.
Yeah, you've got to be aggressive here early when the Rangers get a chance, and I think you rely on Beltre to put the ball in play if it's a strike.
A full count on the Ranger third baseman. Texas leading 1-0. Andrews at third, Hamilton at first with a very short lead. Full count, the payoff pitch, and it's fouled at the plate. The crowd thought Beltre had struck out, but the ball was fouled straight down onto Yadier Molina's toe. He is hobbling around in pain, and Hamilton was not running on that pitch. And the umpire is going to dust off the plate and give Molina a little bit of time to recover from that one, which hit his right foot.
It could be in deference to Josh's sore groin that's been well publicized. Ron Washington not going to take any chances on him aggravating that.
3 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on a changeup, down and away. What a job of pitching by Garcia, striking out Young and Beltre. It's 1-0 Texas, and it's up to Cruz now to try and lengthen this Texas lead. Cruz hitting .267 with a homer and 2 RBIs, and there are enough Texas fans here tonight that you hear a Cruz chant going up. Garcia set, and time is called at the plate by Nelly Cruz. This is the second game in the World Series in which the Rangers have scored in the first inning. The pitch swung on and missed. Change up, down and away. The Rangers got one on Sunday on a double by Josh Hamilton as the third batter of the game, and that was the game in which Derek Holland and Neftali Feliz shut out the Cardinals 4-0 to even up the series at 2 each. 0-1. Breaking ball grounded weakly to third on 1 hop. Freeze over to second in time for the force. That'll close out the inning. So the Rangers come up with 1, but waste a golden opportunity to add more. Well, the Cardinals have been down 3 games to 2 in 5 previous World Series. They've won the World Series in 4 of those 5. That fresh take brought to you by Subway. Go for the breakthrough taste of the new Subway Oven Crisp Chicken Sandwich. Always baked, never fried, merely 7 grams of fat. Colby Lewis, the big righty from Bakersfield, 6'4", 225 pounds, 32 years old, takes the mound with a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first to face Furcal, Schumacher, and Pujols. Furcal, switch hitter, batting left, and the first pitch is a curve, and it's in for a strike. How about that? The first pitch breaking ball. Dave McKay coaching at first, Jose Oquendo at third for the Cardinals. Here's the 0-1 offering, and there's a breaking ball, and that missed down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Colby Lewis, the number 48 on his back, has a classic big over-the-top windup. Starts with his left foot slightly in front of the right. Pushes off the rubber, comes home, and he missed high that time. And the count is 2-1. Beltre plays in at third as Furcal's a good bunter. Michael Young, the first baseman, even with the bag. Andrews and Kinsler shortened up a bit. 2-1 pitch, popped foul, third base side, and out of play. There's an average amount of foul room here. It's 336 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 to the alleys, and 400 to dead center. The fence is 8 feet high all the way around. The Ranger bullpen is out in left center field, and the Cardinals bullpen in right center field. Colby deals 2-2, and it's looped in the air to center field. Josh Hamilton in, now back. Make it Gentry with a couple of steps over toward left. Gentry in center today, and he hauls it in. Gentry in center, flanked by Hamilton in left and Cruz in right. Mike Napoli doing the catching, as he has in all but one of the World Series games. And here is Skip Schumacher, who gets the start in center field and moves up to second in the order, where Tony La Russa previously had used John Jay and Alan Craig. Schumacher 1 for 4, an RBI in the World Series. Left-handed batter, swings and loops it foul off to the left out of play. Schumacher out of UC Santa Barbara, Michael Young's alma mater. Like Michael, he was, and I guess still is, a gaucho. Here's the 0-1, breaking ball just outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Rangers play Schumacher way around to the left. Pujols on deck, and the 1-1 pitch swung on, and a broken bat flare to right center. It falls for a base hit. Hamilton plays it on the third bounce, and Pujols will bat with a man at first and 1 out. The Rangers leading 1-0 in the first inning. So here's Albert, who last time these teams met on Monday in Arlington was walked intentionally 3 times. Tying the World Series record, he also flied out and struck out into a double play. For the series, hitting .278, 3 homers, 6 RBIs, but all his damage coming in that one game, in Game 3. Kinsler way over toward the middle at second base. Big hole on the right side. The pitch to Albert, swung on and sky to right center, not very deep. Nelly Cruz coming on underneath it, says he has it, and makes the catch, two-handed above the cap. Pujols going after the first pitch. Hits a lazy fly ball to Cruz in right, and there are 2 outs. 1-0 Rangers for Berkman.
Yeah, that's immediate payback for Colby Lewis, but Pujols going up there having an idea, having seen Lewis, what to expect on the first pitch, got it, and just popped it up. So advantage Colby in the early going.
Now Lance Berkman moving up to the cleanup spot, flip-flopping with Matt Holliday. Berkman having a fine series, hitting .389, no homers, 2 RBIs, although he struck out as the final batter on Monday in Game 5. And the set by Colby. And the pitch swung on, hit in the air, left center field. Gentry going back, it's carrying well. Gentry at the wall, it is out of here. An opposite field 2-run homer for Lance Berkman. Into the bleachers in left center. He turns the game around, it's 2-1 Cardinals.
And I guess you could say ditto for Lance Berkman, what we said about Pujols. This advantage, however, went Berkman's way. He went up there looking for a pitch out over the plate and got one. He drove it to left center field.
Well, Colby, who gave up 35 home runs in the regular season, the most in the American League, gives a big one up here. First home run in the World Series for Berkman. And the Cards have the lead with 2 outs in the first. Here's Matt Holliday. And the pitch is ripped out and missed as they are ambushing Colby early now. 413 feet the distance on the Berkman home run. We said the ball wasn't carrying well in batting practice, but that ball carried well.
That it did.
Now the 0-1 pitch, and that's a little low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pujols with 3 home runs, Alan Craig with 1, and now Berkman, the other Cardinal who has homered. 1-1 pitch swung on and missed. And all of the Cardinal home runs previously came in that Game 3 massacre. 5 different Rangers have hit home runs in this World Series. So a wild start tonight, 2-1 Cardinals, first inning. And the 1-2 to Holliday is low and away, 2-2. Holliday hitting just .167 without an RBI. He has walked 5 times. On deck, another righty, David Freese. The 2-2 pitch outside with a slider. And the count has gone full. Schumacher had a 1-out single. Berkman, a 2-out home run after the Rangers left 2 men on in the first inning. 3-2 pitch, ball 4. Fastball just a hair wide. Colby really thought he should have gotten that call. A 91-mile-an-hour fastball. And again, the borderline call goes the hitter's way with Gary Cedars drawn back of the plate. And here comes Freese.
That had plenty of the plate, Eric, but it was on the low side. And again, that's the one Cedarstrom just will not give pitchers.
So Freese comes up. He's hitting .313 in the series. No homers, 2 RBIs. He is 5 for 16. Cards lead it 2-1. Gentry playing a few steps to the right of straightaway in center field. Colby delivers. First pitch in there for a strike. Colby, a very short slide step with the runner at first base. He doesn't have a great move, but he's quick to the plate. And a throw over to first, and back standing is Matt Holliday, who's not a major threat to run. On deck is Yadier Molina. 0-1, and in comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Freese was late. It is 0-2 against the man who was the NLCS most valuable player. Colby leans in, tucks the glove against the left side of his chest. Now to the belt and to the plate. He misses inside. A fastball that backs Freese out of there, crowding him about belt high. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. 2 runs, 2 hits for St. Louis, 1 run on 2 hits for the Rangers. The pitch on the way, struck him out swinging on a slider down and away. And that'll do it for the Cardinals, but they take the lead. Two to 1, the Cardinals in the lead. Napoli hitting .308 for the series, 2 homers and 9 runs batted in. First man to have 9 RBIs in the World Series since Moises Alou and Sandy Alomar back in '97. Alomar finished with 10, Alou had 9. Garcia winds and delivers, and the pitch is a strike on the inside edge. Garcia keeps the hands about shoulder high as he rocks back on the third base side of the ribbon. Dealing to the Ranger catcher, who has 4 multiple RBI games in this World Series. The 0-1 pitch inside. Trying to keep Napoli from extending those arms. The count has gone 1-1. Napoli had the game-winning hit in Game 5, the 2-run double off the lefty Zepchinski in the 8th inning Monday. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the pitch swung on a high drive down the right field line, twisting foul. Coming over for a look is Berkman, but this one out of play in the section that angles out toward the foul line. It gets very close down in the corners, and there's a very small section that angles out toward the line. And that's where that ball dropped. 1-2 the count. The outfield plays Napoli very deep. The center fielder Schumacher a step toward right. Freese is backed up at third and close to the line. The 1-2 pitch in the dirt, a breaking ball. It is blocked by Molina. Napoli wouldn't offer. And it's 2-2. The Rangers leading 3-2 in this 107th World Series. Last night was the 30th time in World Series history a game had been rained out. The first time since 2006. The 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball low. Napoli started to offer and stopped. One game back in 1903 was postponed due to cold, and 10 games were postponed due to the earthquake in the Bay Bridge series in '89. And that is your history of World Series postponements. Full count to Napoli, 2-1 Cardinals leading. The payoff pitch, he lost him, he missed down low. So 4 of the first 7 Rangers have reached against Jaime Garcia. And he has walked the leadoff batter in each inning after walking just 1 in 7 innings 7 days ago. Now Gentry, a right-handed hitter out of Van Buren, Arkansas, who surprisingly to me had never been to St. Louis until this World Series. You know, most of Arkansas grew up as Cardinals fans. Gentry said he'd never been here. He's out of Van Buren, Arkansas, and the only rookie on the Rangers World Series roster. The Cardinals have 2. Lewis is on deck. The pitch to Gentry, and it is low and inside. The third baseman plays up against a possible bunt, as Gentry can bunt for hits. And Colby batting next is 3 for 18 in his career as a hitter. A 1-ball count. Cards lead 2-1. The pitch to Gentry, tapped foul. That one skitters just to the left of the Cardinals emblem painted on the field behind home plate. The 2 red birds on the bat, the same logo that adorns the front of their jersey. The Cardinals with one of the classic logos in all the sports, and they are in their 120th year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gentry, a guy who's tough to double up with his great speed. Short lead at first for the slow Napoli. And the pitch is down low. It is 2 balls and 1 strike as Molina blocks that one in the dirt. Garcia in the first inning threw 23 pitches, 14 of them strikes. Now he has walked Napoli on 3-2 after getting ahead in the count. And Gentry, the hitter, the Rangers' regular platoon center fielder for most of the year against lefties. The 2-1 on the way. Swung on and lined into left, a base hit between third and short. It hits the skin part of the infield and shoots on through to the right of Furcal. Napoli is at second, Gentry is at first. The tying and go-ahead runs are aboard for Colby Lewis, and everyone in the world now is expecting a bunt.
I think everybody's going to be right, too. That was a great approach, both by Napoli and by Gentry, Eric, in that they're making Garcia throw the ball up in the strike zone a bit. And the 2 strikeouts that Garcia was able to get were set up by the low pitches being swung at and missed. And if you can make him get the ball up a little bit, you've got a chance to get some very hittable pitches.
Colby in the regular season was 1 for 8 as a hitter, had a double in Houston, was 0 for 2 in game 1, did not have a sacrifice this year. He is showing bunt already with the corners way up. And Lewis fouls the bunt off as that one rolls to the backstop. Ian Kinsler is nowhere near the on-deck circle. He's as close to being directly behind home plate as he is to the circle. Now he actually moves back a few steps toward the Rangers' third base dugout. With Napoli a slow runner at second base, Gentry at first. Freeze playing in at third, Pujols way in at first, and extremely off the line is Pujols. 0-1 to Colby. He is squared to bunt. Here's the pitch, and the bunt is down. It's fielded by the third baseman. He throws to third for the out. Throw to first, double play. The play goes 5, 6, 4. And that's the danger in bunting when everybody knows that's what you're going to do. Now there are 2 outs and a runner at second.
Yeah, that's a situation where in the National League you would have seen the pitcher pull the bat back and swing away, a slug bunt type thing. But Rangers don't play that game very often, so they're not used to having to make that adjustment.
So it's up to Kinsler to try and bring in Gentry with the tying run. Ian had a walk on a 3-1 pitch to start the ball game and then came around to score. The set by Garcia and the pitch to Ian, and it's down for a ball. A fastball at 87 from Jaime Garcia, who last year was 13-8 with a 2.70 ERA. This year 13-7. Got a 4-year contract extension this year at the All-Star break. Gentry at second has a huge lead. It's a 1-ball count on Ian, and the pitch, it's high, 2-0, with Elvis Andrus waiting on deck. Kinsler does not have an RBI in this World Series, and the run he scored in the first inning was only his 2nd run scored in the 6 ball games, including this one. 2-1 Cardinals lead. The 2-0 pitch. Kinsler fouls it back, and the count is 2-1. Well, it was the Cardinals who had chance after chance go unfulfilled in game 5, going 1 for 12 with men in scoring position. The Rangers so far in this game are 1 for 5 already. Here's the 2-1 to Ian, and that's rolled foul off to the left across the World Series logo and onto the warning track in front of the Rangers dugout, where a ball boy will collect it. And the count evens at 2-2 on Ian Kinsler. The outfield playing him around to the left. The right fielder Berkman is in the alley and fairly shallow. Elvis Andrus would be next. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch swung on and a high foul down the left field line. This one back out of play. Here at Busch Stadium, there are 3 tiers of seating along the third base line, 4 tiers along the first base line. Bleachers in left center and in right center. A grassy hill serving as the hitter's backdrop, just as we have in Arlington. 2-2 on Kinsler. Gentry at second, 2 outs. The pitch in the dirt. Breaking ball, and Kinsler lets it pass by. That will run the count full. in out of the University of Missouri. 17th round pick by the Rangers in 2003. Garcia set. The payoff pitch. Swung on and lined to the gap in left center field. Way back goes Holliday, still going, he can't get it. It bounces into the bullpen. And the game is tied 2-2. An automatic double for Ian Kinsler on a rifle shot in between Holliday and Schumacher into the Rangers bullpen.
Again, Kinsler doing a good job of laying off the pitch that was down out of the strike zone, making Garcia get the ball up just a little bit. And that ball staying up just above knee high, but it was out over the plate. And Kinsler really able to drive that ball into left center field for the RBI two-bagger.
Dave Duncan, the Cardinals pitching coach, pays a visit to Jaime Garcia. He has allowed 6 base runners so far. He has faced 10 batters. This is a 2-2 tie. Kinsler has his first run batted into the World Series, and we're getting some early action in the Cardinals bullpen.
And Mitchell Boggs, it looks like, the right-hander.
Boggs warms as Elvis approaches the plate. Elvis had a looping liner fall in left center to help build a run in the first inning. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Rangers, 2 runs on 2 hits for the Cardinals. Josh Hamilton would be next. Right fielder Berkman very shallow against Elvis. The outfield is straight away. The second baseman Punto is toward the middle. A look back at second, the pitch to Elvis. Check swing, and it's in there for a strike. Napoli's walk helped create this run, even though he was forced out when Kobe Lewis bunted into the double play after the Gentry single. The walk has gotten Garcia in trouble in both innings. Here's the 0-1 offering. Swung on and a high fly ball down the right field line. Going over Berkman toward the line into foul ground, can't get it. That ball lands in the first row of seats. A speedier right fielder may have had a play on that as it landed in the first row above a very low barrier that's no more than about 2.5 feet high.
It hasn't come into play in this series, Eric. And I know we talked about it the first time here in St. Louis. That neither Berkman nor Holliday in left field have very good speed for outfielders, and Rangers just have not been able to exploit it.
This game tied at 2. An 0-2 count on Andrews with Kinsler at second. Garcia ready and delivers, and he bounces it in. It's blocked by Molina, and Kinsler has to stay at second base as the ball rolls just about 15 feet away up the third baseline. A 1-2 count. Oh, that ball was about 4 feet short.
Elvis could have hit that on a bounce. It would have been a pretty good pitch.
Been a good cricket delivery.
Yeah.
1-2 the count on Elvis. And here it comes. It's low and inside. A fastball levels the count at 2-2. And Jaime Garcia really laboring here. Neither pitcher has been able to hold a lead early. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Garcia ready, and the pitch on the way. Fouled off to the right. Elvis reaching and spoiling an outside pitch. The 46th pitch thrown already by Garcia. 23 in the first inning, 23 here in the second inning. Elvis takes a little walk away from the plate now, digs back in there, looking for his first RBI of the series. Hamilton waiting next. The set by Garcia. He pushes off and comes home, and it's grounded foul over the head of third base coach Dave Anderson, who is the only Ranger on the field in this series who has ever won a World Series. He did it as a player with the Dodgers, a utility player in 1988. He only had 1 at bat in that World Series. Jackie Moore, the Ranger bench coach, was the bench coach for Lou Piniella with the '90 Cincinnati Reds, who won it all. The 2-2. Elvis a swing and a line shot to right field, right at Berkman. Backpedals a step, has to jump up to catch it as he misjudged that ball a little bit, but he hauls it in to retire the side. The Rangers, however, tie it up. Bottom of the second inning, Molina, Punto, and Garcia. The last 3 in Tony La Russa's order will come up against Colby Lewis. Molina hitting .294 for the series. No homers, 5 driven in. Right-handed hitting catcher from Puerto Rico. And the pitch is swung on and fouled back as they continue to jump on those first pitch Colby Lewis fastballs.
Yeah, and I think the pattern that Colby said last time, a lot of first pitch fastballs in on guys, and he hasn't gone back to that yet tonight, but I think that's what the Cardinals are expecting him to do.
0-1, and here's the pitch. Swung on, ground ball hit hard, but right to Elvis on 3 skipping hops. Sets and throws, and Molina, a very slow runner, is out. And Nick Punto is coming up next. Tomorrow night, if there is a Game 7 due to a Cardinal win tonight, Ron Washington has said unequivocally that Matt Harrison will be his starting pitcher. Harrison, the losing pitcher in Game 3. And Tony La Russa has not made any commitments regarding who would start for him. Punto 3 for 11. And the pitch is in for a strike. Most of the so-called experts seem to think that Chris Carpenter would probably get the ball, albeit on 3 days rest. But who knows? 0-1, and the pitch is fouled back, and the bat goes flying out of Punto's hand, pinwheeling end over end off the screen in front of the Cardinals' first base dugout.
Well, one thing you can be sure of, if there is a Game 7, everybody is going to be available to pitch. Whoever starts, that's fine, but you're going to have 11 other pitchers down in both bullpens.
And we think we've seen pitching changes already at long games. The average game time in this World Series, 3 hours and 24 minutes. Great games, though, everyone right down to the wire, with the exception of the 16-7 St. Louis win in Game 3. The pitcher on deck, 0-2 to Punto. The pitch from Colby struck him out swinging, got him to chase a shoulder-high fastball. There's the second punch out for Colby Lewis. 99 supplemental first-round draft pick by the Rangers out of Bakersfield Community College, with a career postseason record of 4-1, a postseason ERA of .222, and he won the only Ranger game that was on the positive side last year in the World Series. A Game 3 win over the Giants. Garcia had a walk-off Colby last Thursday and was 0 for 1. First pitch is over for a strike. The left-handed pitcher bats left-handed. Action has subsided in the Cardinals bullpen. Boggs was up, and the 0-1 pitch is low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Now, Garcia, not one of those hitting pitchers, though, that you can throw the ball down the middle. He's got a pretty good swing.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. A cut and a miss. And the count at 1-2. Colby had a 20-pitch first inning, with a shot at a much more efficient second. This ball game tied at 2. And the 1-2 on the way. Swung on and a chopper, slowly hit, cut off by Beltre in and to his left. Sets and wings it over to first for the out. And it is a 3-up, 3-down second inning for Colby Lewis. After 2 completed Busch, Rangers 2, Cardinals 2 on the 10th.
The 2 innings in the first time up. And the first pitch to Hamilton is a fastball that's a little bit low for ball 1. Thanks to Brian Doggan for being on top of things like that. Knew he had him around for a reason. Garcia back to the motion, and Hamilton swings. It's a pop-up into foul territory, third base side, over to Havitt is Freeze, and drops the ball as he runs into the railing and goes headlong into the camera bay. He stays on top of the railing and able to maintain enough balance to pop back on the field, but that ball not hit very high in the air, so Freeze was on the run as he tried to make the catch, and the ball just skittering off the tip of his glove. So Hamilton has new life. Sure, that will go down as no play, considering that Freeze was still moving, and he was lucky he didn't go head first into that camera bay. Now the next pitch to Hamilton, just off the outside corner. It scrapes the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2 to Josh.
Well, that could turn out to be a big no play if Hamilton can take advantage of the extra life.
Garcia into the wind, and the 1-2 pitch got him swinging. Cut fastball away, and Hamilton down on strikes, and looks back to Gary Cedarstrom and say, was that a strike? And Cedarstrom said, well, no, not until you swung at it. So that is the 3rd strikeout for Jaime Garcia as he starts the 3rd inning by punching out Hamilton. And it'll bring up Michael Young, who is his first strikeout victim. Young came up with the runners at the corners and a run across in the first inning and nobody out. And Garcia got him to chase a fastball upstairs. First pitch to Young. Ground ball up the middle, headed towards center field by the diving Punto. And Michael Young a base hit. No, 1-out single. That is the 6th hit, or make that the 5th hit already off of Jaime Garcia. And Michael Young aboard for Adrian Beltre. Young has been up there for 4 pitches. He has swung at all 4 of them and finally put one into play. Now here's Beltre, who like Young went down swinging in the first inning. Beltre slightly closed stance deep in the right-handed batter's box, and the first pitch to him is a fastball inside. That's ball 1. Adrian, 8 out of 22 so far in the World Series, a .286 postseason hitter for the Rangers this year. Garcia comes set at the letters, and the 1-0 pitch. Fastball inside again, and it's 2 balls, no strikes. Outfield playing Beltre slightly around to the left. Schumacher in center field, maybe 3 steps toward the gap in left center. Both Berkman and Holiday in right and left respectively, just about straight away. Garcia sets a check of Young, and the pitch to Beltre, fastball. That one catches the inside corner. It makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. Beltre, a couple of doubles and a home run among his 8 hits in the World Series against the Cardinals. Next pitch from Garcia, fastball tails outside. The count moves to 3-1 to Adrian. Well, Beltre hitting that number 5 slot, who would be followed by Nelly Cruz. And Beltre turning around and smiling at Gary Cederstrom. I don't know whether the home plate umpire was cracking jokes back there or what. Garcia ready, 3-1 pitch on the way. Double play ground ball hit to Punto. He backhands, and Furcal on to Pujols, and a 4-6-3 double play will end the Ranger third. No runs a hit, nobody left after 2.5. It's the Rangers 2 and the Cardinals 2. Colby Lewis set to go to work. He'll face the top of the Cardinal batting order. Rafael Furcal, Skip Schumacher, and Albert Pujols. And the first pitch to Furcal. He runs up and tries to slug bunt it with Adrian Beltre coming down the line, and he fouled it straight down for strike 1. The second time in this series that we have seen Furcal try to do that. Run up to the front of the batter's box and take a swipe at just punching one by Beltre. It hasn't worked either time. Breaking ball, and that just a bit low. The appeal down to third base umpire Alfonso Marquez. He said, nope, no swing. It's a ball and a strike to Furcal. Furcal, a fly ball to center field as he began things tonight for the Cardinals. Lewis into the wide. The 1-1 pitch is high and away, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Rangers 2 runs on 5 hits. The Cardinals 2 runs on 2 hits. Big hit to Lance Berkman's drive to left center field that left the yard. Furcal swings and pops one into shallow right center field. Backing out, Ian Kinsler outstretched both arms to say, I've got it, and he does. That is out number 1 as Furcal makes a right turn at first base and heads to the Cardinal dugout. Well, folks, it's that time. 0.9% interest in some of the biggest rebates offered all year. Get to McDavid Honda in Irving across from the Irving Mall at 183 in Beltline, or visit us online at McDavidIrving.com. Come join the McDavid Honda family today. First pitch to Schumacher is a fastball that's just above the strike zone. 1 ball, no strike. Schumacher, a base hit to center field. Got one off the end of the bat that fell in. He came around to score on Berkman's home run. Lewis back to him, and the ball in the dirt. 2-0 the count. Now looking out into the right field bullpen, Fernando Salas, the right-hander, starting to loosen. So Tony La Russa apparently not overly impressed with the work of Jaime Garcia thus far, even though it's a 2-2 ball game. Lewis 2-0 pitch. Schumacher swings, lines one to deep center field, but going back with room is Gentry. Camps right at the edge of the warning track, waits for the ball to come down and right into his glove for out number 2.
On 2-0, Schumacher knew he was going to get a pitch to hit with Albert Pujols coming up. He hit it pretty well, just doesn't have a whole lot of power.
Yeah, especially not to that part of the ballpark on a night like this. Now Berkman is a different story, but Schumacher not the big guy. Here's Pujols, who on the first pitch that he saw from Colby tonight, flied out to shallow right field. Lewis to the wind, and the first pitch, a slider, is low and outside for ball one. Pujols 5 out of 19 in the series. He's a .377 hitter in the postseason for the Cardinals. Lewis back to the plate, fastball straightens him up and in, and it's 2-0. Eric told you about the 3 intentional walks in the last ball game down in Arlington that the Rangers issued. 2-0 pitch, waved at and missed as Colby pulled the string. It's 2 balls and a strike. Pujols has 4 walks in the series. All 4 of them have been of the intentional variety. 2-1 pitch from Lewis. Another breaky ball. That's a strike on the outside corner as Pujols took it. And Colby's come back to even the count now at 2-2. The wind and the pitch. A little tapper that comes up and hits Pujols while he's still in the batter's box. So the count remains even.
And Ron Washington talked today on the manager's show about the difference between Pujols and Cabrera, saying Pujols would not expand his strike zone as much as Miguel Cabrera, but he has been expanding it tonight.
He has against Colby, and Colby has that good slider going again tonight. Apparently with some late break because Pujols has tried to go after a couple of them. Colby said again the 2-2 pitch. Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field. Back at the wall. Now coming in a step or two is Josh Hamilton as that ball got out there and died. What breeze there is drifting in from left field just enough to hold that in the yard. A 1-2-3 inning. Colby has set down the last 7 he's faced. Will go to the 4th in St. Louis. The Rangers 2 and the Cardinals 2. Fernando Salas, and he will face Nelly Cruz to start things off. And the first pitch of the 4th inning is a fastball that's fouled back to the screen. Salas appearing in his 4th game of this series. He's worked 1 2/3 inning, allowed 5 hits and 3 earned runs. He has gone from the closer of the Cardinals to setup man, or in this case, long man for Tony La Russa. Right-hander ready, and the 0-1 pitch. Well, he fouls one back off his fist. No balls and 2 strikes very quickly. Salas in the postseason overall is appearing in his 11th ball game. 3.97 earned run average in 11 innings during postseason play this year. A 2-2 game. Nelly Cruz grounded into a fielder's choice back in the 1st. Pitch from Salas, sinker low and inside. Nelly thought about it and checked his swing in time. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
The Rangers got Salas for 3 runs in the 5th inning Saturday to close what was a 5-0 deficit to 5-3, and then Tony got him out of there for Lance Lynn, who picked up the win.
Right-hander back to the plate, misses very high, a changeup, and the count is even to Cruz at 2-2. A 2-2 ball game, top of the 4th inning. Rangers have out hit the Cardinals 5-2. It'll be Cruz, Napoli, and Gentry to face Salas here in the 4th inning. 2-2 pitch on the way, swung on and fouled back to the screen, and Nelly had a rip at a high fastball. Outfield plays Cruz around to the left side. Infield in a similar fashion and playing very, very deep at short is Furcal, and at second is Punto. They both are a step onto the outfield grass. Third baseman David Freese a step off the line at third. Now time called as Gary Cedarstrom, the home plate umpire, asked by Nelly Cruz to call time. He did. Now we're set to go. Nelly out of that very wide open stance. Salas to the plate. Pitch is swung on and skied to left field. Not very deep. Going out is Furcal. Coming on is Holiday. They're looking at each other, and Holiday has to go in and out of his glove, and everybody is safe with Cruz going to second base. Well, Furcal started looking at Holiday. Holiday was looking at Furcal, and neither one of them was looking at the baseball. At the last second, Holiday stuck his glove out. It went in and popped out for what will probably be a 2-base error, allowing Cruz to get to second.
That is one awful play. And Cruz wasn't running it out. Not that he would have gotten farther than second, but he just barely got to second.
So a 2-base error on Matt Holiday. And that allows Cruz to get into scoring position, leading off this inning, and now Mike Napoli will come to the plate. Now, we talked about the outfield defense. Holiday and Berkman not the most fleet of foot, and quite honestly, not the best outfielders that the Rangers have played against. They certainly are great offensive players, but that's the first time the Rangers have had an advantage from their defensive lack of prowess. Here's Napoli, who drew a walk his first time. Now time called, and Cruz going back to the bag at second.
Well, with Gentry on deck, you wonder if Ron Washington would pinch hit this early in the game with David Murphy.
Might very well do that. Salas ready, a check of second. The first pitch to Napoli is a strike on the inside corner. Which you have David Murphy, who started the last couple of games in Arlington against the right-handers. Greg Gentry getting the start against the left-hander Garcia, who's no longer around. He's out on deck right now. Next pitch is in the dirt. It gets away from Molina just momentarily, but it was right behind him. So Nelly Cruz had no idea how far it had gotten behind Molina. He couldn't see through the catcher, and he has to stay at second. A ball and a strike is the count to Mike Napoli. Napoli by far the team leader in RBI in this series. He has 9 of them. Couple of home runs. He is 4 out of 13 with 3 walks and a double. Go along with these 2 home runs. Napoli back in, taps to the middle of home plate with his bat. Salas peering in for the signs, has the one he wants. Right-hander checks second, and the pitch to Napoli. Swung on a line down the right field line. It's a fair ball, right on the chalk. Cruz around third. He will score. Holding up at first after the RBI single is Mike Napoli, and the Rangers take a 3-2 lead.
In the year of the Napoli, he deposits one just inches fair to make the Cardinals pay for their error, and then the Cardinals got a break when the ball hit that portion of the stands that juts out. Had the ball gone all the way to the corner, Napoli would have been standing at second base.
Well, Mike Napoli, in an effort to hit the ball to the right side, he waited and waited and got a slider that didn't slide. It stayed on the inner part of the plate, and he had a rope down there that drew chalk. The right field umpire, Ted Barrett, standing right there and watching it, and threw chalk up in his face. So the Rangers back on top, and the first pitch to Craig Gentry, who will hit in this situation, is a slider outside for ball 1.
And now that you have the lead, you want to keep your best defensive outfielder in the game.
Yep, good point. Gentry, a base hit his first time up as he singled off Jaime Garcia to left field. Napoli at first, nobody out. Gentry smokes one foul outside third, and Dave Anderson, the Ranger third base coach, having to do a little jump rope to get out of the way of that ball.
You know, and for most of the year, Gentry actually hit better against righties than lefties. And even though he was playing mostly against lefties, he did finish with a slightly higher batting average against right-handers.
Up there now with a 1-ball, 1-strike count as Salas comes set. And the pitch to the plate is a fastball right down the middle that Gentry took. It's 1-2. So Mike Napoli capitalizes on the 2-base error by Matt Holliday immediately. And that really the first break of this game for either club. It goes the Ranger way, and they're able to take advantage for a run. Next pitch to Gentry, swung on and missed. As Salas pulled the string, Gentry has gone on strikes. And that's the first out with Colby Lewis coming up. First strikeout for Salas, who's in his first inning of work. Now Colby at the plate. He bunted into a 5-6-4 double play with runners at first and second back in the second inning. Up there again, probably being asked to bunt. He squares around early, and the pitch from Salas is bunted in the air down the first baseline, and it goes foul. The immediate play, or immediate call by Gary Cedarstrom as Pujols fielded the ball, straddling the line and threw to second, was that the ball was foul.
It was a good call. Pujols trying to sell it as a fair ball, even though he reached across the foul line to make the play. It doesn't matter where he is, it's where the ball is.
That ball hitting in fair territory, but by the time Pujols got to it, it was in foul territory, and immediately called that way by Cedarstrom.
Now would Colby have the option of slug bunting?
He would, again, around to bunt, and this one's down. Pitcher Salas off the mound, goes to second. It's a bad throw. and Napoli falls down at second as he's trying to get up, and Napoli's hurt. Mike Napoli stumbled across the bag. The throw was high. It went into center field. As Napoli tried to get up, he went sprawling to the ground, and he is down on his back. Kevin Harmon, Ron Washington immediately out there to take a look at Napoli. Looked like Napoli tried to get up and slipped on the bag. We're going to get a look at the TV replay, but the throw was terrible. Napoli jammed his left ankle or left foot into the bag, and it looks like that's where the accident occurred. Really rolled his left ankle.
He thought he was going to be breaking up a double play. That's why he was going in high. Then when he saw where the ball was, he had to adjust and turn that ankle over. He is walking around now.
Yep.
Limping slightly, but I'm surprised how quickly he's up on his feet. As badly as that looked when you saw that foot jammed against the bag and rolled over.
Well, if Dirk Nowitzki is certainly he's a big Ranger fan, we've all found that out. If he was watching that, it's going to bring back some painful memories, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen Dirk do that to himself in the basketball court. Notoriously hard on his ankles. But Napoli, and anybody who's had an ankle injury, if you happen to be watching TV also, don't watch the replay, please.
I've had him.
Yeah.
I've done exactly that.
And that's as painful as having one, isn't it, watching that replay?
Yeah.
Well, Napoli talking to Washington and to Kevin Harmon and making his case to stay in there. And you're right, Eric. I'm surprised he got up as quickly as he did and was as mobile as he was.
Unless he's just trying to sell the fact that he can stay in the game. Now you're in a situation here where he's a runner at second base on a hit by Kinsler. You want to be able to score the run, but you also want to have Mike Napoli's bat, glove, and brain in the ballgame the rest of the way. And now he's doing a little jogging between second and third, and he's really not limping. So it appears that the dirt bag, as Ron Washington likes to call him, is going to gut it out and stay in here, which probably shouldn't be surprising to us at all.
No. There's an awful lot to be said for having it be this time of year and having it be Mike Napoli. I think I'd be out of the game if I just saw the replay of that. It couldn't have gotten me up off the ground.
And now we'll see again if the Rangers can take advantage. That was a potential double play.
Yep.
Had the pitcher Salas made a good throw to second base.
And it goes as an error, by the way, an error. Official scorers feeling that Napoli should have been out at second, would have been out on a good throw, and so it goes an error on the pitcher, and Colby Lewis aboard on the fielder's choice. So first and second, one out after a couple of errors in the inning. And Ian Kinsler, who is 1 for 1 with an RBI double, steps in and swings and fouls the first pitch straight down for strike one. Kinsler opened the game up by walking. He drew his 6th walk in this World Series, came around to score on the RBI single by Josh Hamilton. And then with 2 outs in the second, his double into the left field bullpen on a bounce drove home Craig Gentry to tie the game. Salas back to the plate, and the fastball hits the inside corner. It's no balls and 2 strikes to Ian. Well, Ian now 6 out of 18 in the World Series, and that RBI in the second, by the way, his first of this World Series, his 10th RBI of the postseason. Salas with the 0-2 pitch, and a call strike 3 on the breaking ball. Ian gave up on it, thought it was going to be high, and it broke down and into the strike zone, according to Gary Cederstrom. And that's out number 2. Now, both outs this inning have come as a result of strikeouts. The other 2 outs that should have been recorded this inning went as errors. 2 on, 2 out. Here's Elvis Andrus coming to the plate, and Elvis 1 out of 2.
And Berkman's playing considerably deeper now than he was last time when he misjudged an Elvis Andrus line drive and had to jump to catch it in right. Now he moves in a little bit.
Salas ready to check him. Napoli at second, and the pitch, breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 1. Elvis a single in the first, and that play that Eric was talking about, he had a sharp line drive to right field that almost got over Berkman's head, or what would have been an RBI at least double at that time. And it was the final out of the inning. 0-1 pitch coming from Salas, very high with the fastball, and the count is even at 1-1.
Well, the Cardinals have given the Rangers 6 extra outs in that inning. If you consider Colby's bunt to have been a double play ball, you'd like to score more than 1 run.
3-2, Rangers on top. They about hit the Cardinals 6-2, and the Cardinals have committed the only 2 errors in this ball game. Salas with a 1-1 pitch and fought off foul to the right side. The swing by Andrus produces strike 2.
And Napoli's getting off the bag pretty well at second base. Not showing any signs of an ankle injury.
Amazing. Amazing. He just refused to let that rolled ankle bother him so far. A ball and 2 strikes. Sellout crowd here at Busch Stadium on their feet, swinging those white hankies around their heads, and Salas comes set. A 1-2 pitch. Andrus shoots one down the right field line, but it slices foul back into the first row, and we'll try it again. Napoli at second, Colby Lewis at first. A run across, 2 outs here in the 4th inning. Elvis Andrus trying to increase the Ranger advantage. Elvis just 1 RBI in the postseason. None here in the World Series. Salas back to the plate. Elvis swings and hits a fly ball to deep left field, going back now, stopping as the ball dies out there is Matt Holliday, and he makes the grab for the 3rd out. When the Rangers come up with a run, it was unearned on 1 hit. There were 2 errors and 2 men left. Cardinals come to bat in the bottom of the 4th inning, now trailing the Rangers 3-2. Lewis's first pitch to him. Ground ball pulled to the right side. Young, a dive, knocks it down, recovers, throws to Lewis, and not there. They should have pulled Lewis off the bag, and Berkman's safe. First base umpire Jerry Lane making a very emphatic call. Michael Young had more time after he recovered the bobble to make a more accurate throw, and Colby Lewis was at the bag, but the throw just into the outfield, onto the outfield side of the bag, pulled him away from first.
And Colby was a little bit past the base due to the bobble and the difficulty Michael had in retrieving the baseball. They had put up a hit on the scoreboard, but the official scorer has now said it is a hit on Michael for failing to play that ground ball cleanly. It really wasn't that hard to play on his backhand side.
So 1 on, nobody out. Here's Matt Holliday, and he takes a breaking ball that stays inside for ball 1. Holliday drew a walk in the 1st inning against Colby. For Holliday, that was his 6th walk of the World Series. He was tops on the Cardinal club for intentional, or I should say walks, the pitch inside to him, and the count moves to 2-0. Colby might be battling himself a little bit, feeling that he probably should have been able to make that play. Walks off the back of the mound, try to settle himself down just a bit, rubs the ball up, and now he's back up on top. 1 on, nobody out. Rangers leading the Cardinals 3-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Colby okays the sign, comes set at the belt, and the 2-0 pitch. High and inside, and almost got Holliday. It's 3 balls and no strikes. Now Colby all of a sudden, after that play at first, uncharacteristically out of the strike zone 3 straight pitches. Colby bending over, taking the sign. Now he's ready. And the 3-0 pitch is off the outside corner, ball 4. And there are 2 aboard with nobody out for David Freese. Second walk of the night. Both of them have been garnered by Matt Holliday against Colby Lewis. And here comes David Freese, who was a strikeout victim his first time up. Jose Oquendo, the Cardinal 3rd base coach, going through a series of signs. Very doubtful that Tony La Russa would have his powerful number 6 hitter bunting in this situation.
He did not perform a sacrifice bunt all season, regular season or postseason. And remember, Colby's not a ground ball pitcher by nature. He doesn't throw a lot of ground ball double plays.
Berkman at second, Holliday at first. And Colby Lewis having a tough time reading the signs, has to back off the pitching rubber. Now he's back on top. Right-hander okays the sign, comes set. A check of second, and the pitch to Freese, slider outside. Missed badly with that. It's 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, this is the first at bat the Cardinals have had with a man in scoring position. The Rangers, amazingly, have already had 10, producing 3 hits.
Freese hits out of a slightly closed stance. About midway back in the batter's box as Lewis comes set. 1-0 pitch. And that finds the mark on the outside corner. A fastball at 90 miles an hour. That evens the count at 1-1.
Now, Colby in postseason play has just been amazing with men in scoring position. 2 hits in 22 at-bats against him. That's for his career in postseason.
Lewis ready. Back to the plate. Ground ball off the end of the bat toward Kinsler. Could be 2 to Andrews. The throw is wild. It gets by Young and it bounces off the screen in front of the Cardinal dugout and right back to Michael Young, who recovers it and holds Berkman at third base. So the force play at second, and the throw got away from Andrews as Holliday really went in hard at second and upended Elvis.
It's a great job by Matt Holliday to break up that double play. Went in hard and late, still close enough to the bag that he could touch it, so he wasn't technically out of the baseline. Rangers got lucky when the ball bounced off the screen, or else a run would have scored. The ball was not hit hard enough for Kinsler to feed Andrews in time to completely avoid Holliday.
So just a fielder's choice ground out. David Freese at first. Stopping at third is Lance Berkman, and Yadier Molina, the team's leading hitter during the regular season at 305, steps in. Molina, a ground ball to short his first time, and he takes a fastball just off the outside corner. It's ball 1.
Now, he's a guy who's very easy to double up if he hits the ball on the ground. Again, providing he hits it hard enough, which Freese did not.
Right. Molina during the regular season, 14 home runs, 65 driven in. The 1-0 pitch from Colby, swung on and missed a fastball thrown right by him, letter high. It's a ball and a strike.
Well, this is where Colby, as a strikeout pitcher, can maybe get Molina to chase, a guy who's not very selective.
Not selective, and he will go up the ladder if Colby allows him to. If he elevates that fastball, Colby's very, very good at that. 1 ball, 1 strike. Colby comes set at the belt, a check of the runners. And the pitch, the runner on the move, and the pitch is fouled away on the first base side. So with Freese on the move, Tony La Russa opting for the hit and run is a way to stay out of the double play and potentially almost steal a run. But the pitch fouled out of play, and the count now is a ball and 2 strikes.
Now Napoli's got to be sure if Colby bounces one of those sliders going for a strikeout that Nap's able to smother that pitch.
And hopefully that ankle problem won't be any problem for Napoli as far as moving around behind the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, runners at first and third. Lewis ready. And a bluff to third, looking back to first, but Freese not going anywhere. Lance Berkman, the runner at third base. He led the inning off by singling off the glove of Michael Young. And a walk to Holliday, the fielder's choice at second on the David Freese ground ball. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes to Molina. Lewis to the plate, fastball inside, almost got Molina. As he backs out of the way, the count's 2-2.
And Lance Lynn is throwing now in the Cardinal bullpen with the pitcher spot only 2 batters away.
Ranger infield looking for that double play ground ball that would get them and Colby Lewis out of this jam in the 4th. Runners at the corners, 1 out, Lewis ready to work. And instead he goes first base way, and David Freese back standing. Outfield plays Molina a step or 2 the opposite way with Greg Gentry toward right center field. All at normal depth for Molina, who does have pretty good power. Colby okays the sign, sets at the belt. And the 2-2 pitch, fastball inside again, and the count has gone full. Now we'll see what Tony La Russa does with David Freese at first base.
And keep in mind it's a slow runner at third in Berkman. So the possibility of the strike him out, throw him out exists. And you do risk Berkman breaking for the plate if you decide to throw through on a strikeout to Molina.
Molina doesn't strike out all that much, only 44 times in almost 500 at bats during the regular season. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Lewis ready to work. Again, a bluff to third and back to first, and Freese not tipping his hand at all. Well, that does get the crowd a little anxious and impatient. Molina back in the batter's box. Deep in the right-handed batter's box with a slightly open stance. Colby's ready. Payoff pitch on the way. Ground ball to third. Beltre, the only play he'll have will be across the diamond, and in to score comes Berkman on the Molina ground out with Freese on the move, and the Cardinals have come back to tie it up. It is 3-3.
And a nice play by Adrian Beltre. That ball took a very tricky hop. Just being able to get one out on that play was an achievement.
Yadier Molina gets his 6th RBI of the World Series on that ground out. We are back to a new ball game. Rangers 3, Cardinals 3. David Freese on the play, went to second base. He's there with 2 outs, and Nick Punto will step in.
Another unearned run. Each team giving away a gift here in the 4th inning.
Lewis, first pitch to Punto, a breaking ball that doesn't break. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Now, what originally had been scored a hit off the glove of Michael Young had been charged now as an error on Michael Young on the play on Lance Berkman's ball to start the inning off. 1-0 pitch is a high fastball. Punto fouls it back to the screen. The count is even at a ball and a strike. And looking down at the on-deck circle, John Jay, the deposed center fielder for the last couple of games for the Cardinals, out of the on-deck circle, left-handed hitter. If Fernando Salas' spot comes up in this inning, it will be John Jay pinch hitting. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lewis a check of second, and to the plate he comes. Fastball's high and away. It's 2 balls and a strike. Nick Punto, just a 188 hitter in the postseason, although his contributions to this club have gone far beyond what he's able to do with the bat. He's gathered 4 walks, and Eric has chronicled to you how much of a pain in the hind end he has been to the Rangers over the years. Better than a .320 hitter against Rangers pitching. Now, he asked for time as Colby Lewis and Mike Napoli not able to get together on the signs. 2-1 the count. David Freese, the runner at second, establishing his lead. Colby Lewis straddling the rubber at the moment. Now plants the right foot in front of the pitching rubber and tells Mike Napoli to recycle those signs. Lewis nods in agreement, comes set. 2-1 pitch. Breaking ball to the outside corner. Back door was open, and Colby came on in through it.
And he hasn't used that big slow curveball very much.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Lewis okays the sign. 2-2 pitch. Fastball just up and away. And the count has gone full. Well, Punto trying to get aboard. John Jay, the presumed pinch hitter in the on-deck circle for Tony La Russa. Colby Lewis dangling that right arm down by his side as he takes the sign. The right-handers are ready to go. Payoff pitch on the way. Punto swings and misses as Colby Lewis took something off it. And Punto has struck out twice. He is gone here in the 4th inning. But the Cardinals come up with a run. No hits. There was 1 error and 1 man left. We'll go to the 5th inning. It's now the Rangers 3 and the Cardinals 3 on the Texas Ranger ESPN Radio Network.
To face Hamilton, Young, and Beltre, the meat of the order. The first pitch to Josh swung on and popped up. Left side of the infield, Freese, the third baseman, crosses into foul territory, now back into fair ground and drops the ball. This is unbelievable. It's the 3rd error made by the Cardinals in a span of 7 batters. And the Rangers have a leadoff base runner for the 4th time in 5 innings, and the 2nd straight inning as a result of a dropped pop-up.
Boy, in this one, there's no excuse for it. At least in the one last inning, there was some miscommunication between Holiday and for Collin in left field. But this was all David Freese. He was camped under it, and he put the glove right up in front of his face, so he loses the ball from his eyesight for the last 10 feet coming down, and it pops out of his glove.
It was actually in his glove for a while, and here's Michael Young, whose error led to the Cardinals tying run. We're tied at 3. Young has struck out, singled up the middle, but then was erased in a double play. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for the Rangers. 3 runs, 2 hits, 3 errors for St. Louis. And the pitch swung on, grounded foul, and hard behind Dave Anderson, the coach at third base.
You know, and Eric, this is the first real bad defensive game on both teams, really, that we've seen in this series. At least the other games, other than that Saturday night game, had been well-played baseball games.
Yeah, it's a little brisk. It was 50 when we started. It's 45 right now, but without any significant wind officially. We look at the flags, though, and they are pointing across, in from left field and across to right. Pitch to Michael. That's drilled to left center field. That is up the alley, and that is rolling all the way to the wall. Rounding third is Hamilton, and he will score. Michael stands at second with a go-ahead double. It's the Rangers 4, the Cardinals 3. The Rangers make the Cardinals pay for another error.
Well, just like last inning when Nelly Cruz got on second after the 2-base error and Mike Napoli drove him home immediately. Josh Hamilton reaches on the error by Freese, and Michael Young plugs the left center field gap with the RBI.
A low pitch. Michael ripping it up the alley for his 4th World Series RBI. There's nobody out in the inning. And here's Beltre. He has struck out and grounded into a double play. He has another RBI chance. And the pitch swung on and missed. Fastball right by him. Well, this has been a seesaw affair. Rangers led 1-0, fell behind 2-1, tied it, then went ahead 3-2, immediately gave up the lead, now back in front 4-3. 7 hits for Texas, 2 for St. Louis. The pitch to Adrian, inside, moves him off the plate, thigh high. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Nobody throwing in the Cardinal bullpen. The pitcher Salas is due to lead off here in the bottom of the 5th. There's been no action yet in the Ranger bullpen. Colby Lewis has thrown 62 pitches. Here's the 1-1 to Adrian, and that's right down the middle for a strike. A fastball at 89. So Salas has given up a run in each inning that he has worked, although the run last inning was unearned. Young away from second base. A 1 ball, 2 strike count. Cruz on deck. And time called at the plate by Beltre. Going through with the pitch is Salas. He just lobs one home. The starter, Jaime Garcia, was yanked after 3 innings. He allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, walked 2, struck out 3. The runs off him were earned runs. Now the 1-2 to Beltre outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Remember, it was Beltre who had the huge game to finish off the division series. In game 4 of the series at Tropicana Field, he hit 3 home runs. He had a game-tying home run in game 5 of the World Series. Now Salas asks for Molina to recycle the signs. Young is at second, nobody out, a run home in the 5th. It's 4-3 Rangers. And the pitch, Beltre swings it to ground ball to third. Freese has it on a high hop, looks the runner back and throws in time to get Beltre. So there's 1 down, and Nelson Cruz is coming up next. That ball took a bit of a high hop on Freese. He stayed with it nicely after his error led to the go-ahead run here in this inning. Errors for the Cardinals by Holiday on a dropped fly ball in left. The pitcher Salas on a throw to second. And Freese the drop pop. An error by Michael Young, who botched the ground ball to first off Berkman's bat, leading off the Cardinal 4th as they scored a run without a hit. Unearned, of course. Now Nelly loading up. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And the pitch just missed, ball 1. Cruz grounded to third in the 1st inning, leaving runners at 1st and 3rd. And then reached on the Holiday dropped pop fly in the 4th. Came around to score. A 1 ball count on Cruz. 7 postseason home runs, 1 in the World Series. And the 1-0 pitch, way high and outside. It is 2-0.
Well, you get the feeling that one of these 2 teams is going to bust through and really capitalize, have a big inning because of some defensive miscues. It just depends on which one gets that job done first.
What a multitude of base runners the Rangers have had. The 2-0 pitch swung on and missed, much the way the Cardinals did in their loss in Game 5. But the Rangers have 7 hits. There have been 2 walks, and 3 men have reached on errors. 12 base runners so far. We're playing in the 5th inning. Two balls, 1 strike. And the pitch to Nelly, swung on and missed. He chased a high outside fastball at 92. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Trying to do a little too much, it looked like, in this at bat.
Salas has thrown 35 pitches now. Cruz was the first man he faced when he took over for Garcia in the 4th. The 2-2 pitch swung on in a high fly ball left center field, carrying well, but not well enough. Schumacher in front of the track makes the catch. Tagging at second is Young. He bolts for third, and he'll make it without a throw. Cruz just got under that one a little bit, and again the ball not carrying all that well, other than the ball that Berkman hit into the bleachers in left center for a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 1st. The Rangers, after scoring in the 1st inning on a walk, a single, and a Hamilton RBI single, had Young strike out, Beltre strike out, and Cruz ground out. And they're going to walk Napoli intentionally here. And Gentry, who is due next, is going to be lifted for David Murphy. There's a lot going on without a pitch even being thrown to Mike Napoli, who has walked and singled down the right field line to give the Rangers a short-lived 3-2 lead. And there's the first wide one to Napoli.
So the year of the Napoli is caught up with La Russa even.
Yeah, Napoli 2 walks today. This will be 5 for the series. His first intentional walk. And there is ball 3. Napoli in the regular season received 2 intentional walks all year. Gentry's already gone back to the dugout. There's no lefty up in the bullpen. So Murphy will have a shot at Salas here as the Rangers look to add on to a 4-3 lead. Dave Duncan going out to the mound to talk to Salas about how they're going to pitch to David Murphy. So Craig Gentry's night is through, but he had a big single in the 2nd inning, a smash through the shortstop hole to help set up a run. And now Murphy comes on as the pinch hitter. He will no doubt stay in the game at left, with Josh Hamilton swinging over to center. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Rangers, an error and 5 left. 3 runs, 2 hits for the Cardinals, 3 errors and 2 left. Hardly a textbook affair so far in Game 6 of this 107th World Series. David Murphy hitting 182 for the series, 2 for 11. He has walked 3 times. A left-handed batter from Houston, former first-round pick by the Red Sox out of Baylor. So 1st and 3rd, 2 outs, and the pitcher on deck, Lewis. And the pitch is way outside. Murphy may get nothing near the zone. The Rangers are getting action in their bullpen right now.
That's Derek Holland out there starting to loosen.
Ron Washington, true to his word, as his Game 4 starter warming up, he would be pitching on 3 days rest. And the pitch to Murphy, that's a strike. Now Lewis is going back to the dugout. A lot of gamesmanship here. Lewis is heading back to the dugout. Yorvit Turrialba has moved to the on-deck circle. We are in the top of the 5th inning with the Rangers leading 4-3. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch to Murphy. It's high. And the count is 2-1. So the wheels are turning here, National League style.
Yeah.
Young is at 3rd, Napoli at 1st. 2 outs in the 5th. 2-1 to Murphy. Here it comes, and it's off the plate outside, not by much. And the count is 3-1. Salas about to throw his 45th pitch in 2 innings. And the pitch to Murphy, it's low ball 4, the bases are loaded. And Ron Washington is showing Yorvit Turrialba, but Turrialba is going back to the dugout. And Colby Lewis is now coming out of the dugout as Wash is not ready to remove his starting pitcher. A little bit of bluffing going on.
Yep.
And at least maybe in Wash's mind, it made sure that Murphy would be pitched around, but why wouldn't he want Murphy to get something good to hit there? I guess you don't have the pitcher spot leading off next inning, but Lewis is up with the bases full. And the pitch is a strike to Colby on the outside corner.
I think that's why he had Torrealba coming to the on-deck circle to make La Russa at least have the idea that there's a legitimate hitter maybe coming into the ball game.
It's
But
4-3 Rangers. Yeah, 1 run home in the inning. It started with a drop pop-up off the glove of the third baseman. There's a swing and a dribbler foul, third base side, toward the Rangers dugout. And the count is 0-2. Ian Kinsler would be next. Colby, the only Ranger pitcher ever to have 2 hits and 2 RBIs in the same game. Did that last year in Milwaukee. And now Derek Holland stops throwing in the Ranger bullpen. 0-2, and here's the pitch. Struck him out swinging. Slider down and away. Another unearned run for the Rangers. 4-3 Ranger lead as John Jay comes up to pinch hit, leading off the bottom of the 5th inning. Jay hitless in this World Series in 14 at-bats. Will be followed by Furcal and Schumacher, with Pujols in the hole. Nobody warming in either bullpen at the moment. Garcia was 0 for 1 at the plate in this spot. And the first pitch is a slow curveball that stays outside for ball 1. Fernando Salas in 2 innings gave up 2 runs as a result of errors. The pitch is drilled on 1 hop, backhanded by Kinsler. Whips it sidearm to first, and Jay is out. So Salas, who currently is on the hook, gave up 2 runs, but both unearned due to dropped pop flies on the leadoff batter of each of the innings in which he pitched. Now we'll see if Colby can execute a shutdown inning. He has had 2 previous chances to do it tonight, unsuccessfully, but remember last inning it was totally due to a Michael Young error and then a Holiday walk. Colby hasn't given up a hit since Berkman's homer in the first, and only 2 in the game. And the first pitch scrapes the inside corner. Those who wonder why Ron Washington didn't pinch hit for Colby, he's been pitching great. The 0-1 offering inside off the mitt of Napoli and to the screen.
Yeah, and if there had been 1 out in the inning instead of 2 outs when the Rangers loaded the bases, you probably would have seen him pinch hit for him in that situation in an effort to break the game open. With 2 outs, no, it's not that. To have to take him out of the game, it's not that good an exchange.
You think of what the chances were of the pinch hitter actually getting a hit.
Right.
1-1. And the pitch is a breaking ball low, even though they were showing Yervit Torrealba. Wash could have gone to Andy Chavez, but Chavez now is his only remaining outfielder on the bench after Murphy's come into the game. 2 balls, 1 strike. And here's the pitch, and it is low, 3-1. And you know that enters into it too. Wash doesn't have a bench full of very experienced, capable pinch hitters. 3-1. And the pitch in there for a strike. Full count to Furcal. He's 0 for 2. And the pitch is swung on and hit hard to Kinsler again on 1 hop. On the outfield grass, he has it on a chest-high bounce and zips it over to first. There are 2 outs. Hey, visit the official online shop of the Rangers at TexasRangers.com. Get the largest selection of authentic postseason caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and more. Get your gear straight from the source at the TexasRangers.com shop. 4-3 Rangers, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, and Schumacher coming up next. Pujols to follow, and you want him leading off next inning. You don't want him batting with a man on. Schumacher 1 for 2, swings, and he lines one right to Elvis's right. He reaches and snares it. Letter high for the 3rd out of the inning. So it is a 1-2-3-9 pitch shutdown inning. It'll be Kinsler, Andrews, and Hamilton to face the rookie right-hander Lance Lynn. He's 1-0 in this World Series. He's worked 3 innings, allowed 1 run, walked 3, one of which was intentional in that bizarre sequence in Game 5 where he came on a day he was supposedly unavailable and just issued an intentional walk. Kinsler has walked, doubled, home run, and struck out, and he lets the first one go by for a strike. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Rangers, 3 runs on 2 hits for the Cardinals. Big over-the-top wind for Lynn, and the pitch is a little bit low. Lynn started a couple of games this year, went back to the minors, came back, worked out of the bullpen. 6'5", 250-pounder, an Indiana native. He's 24 years old. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Ian, and that one in for a strike at the knees. It is 1-2. Lynn, during the regular season, in 18 ball games, had a 3.12 ERA, picked up a save. Gave up the go-ahead sacrifice fly in Game 2 here, although it wasn't charged to him. Here comes the 1-2, outside and high to Kinsler. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So now it's Holiday in left, Jay in center, Berkman in right for St. Louis, and they play Kinsler around to the left to pull. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and here it comes inside to Kinsler. Jackknifes out of the way on a waist-high fastball at 92. The count has gone full. The Rangers have had leadoff base runners in 4 of the 5 innings. Scored him in 3. 3-2, swung on in a high foul, hit off to the left side. And this will drift back into the seats. Kinsler has had 2 plate appearances against Lynn, 0 for 1, and that intentional walk against him. 3-2 on Ian. The payoff pitch. Swung on and a little flare to short left. In comes Holiday, reaches, makes the catch as the ball stayed up for him. So Kinsler is out on a soft fly to left, and Elvis Andrews coming up next. In the bottom of the 6th, Colby Lewis will face the heart of the St. Louis order. Pujols, Berkman, and Holiday. Pujols tonight has flied out twice. Berkman has reached twice, once on a 2-run homer that put St. Louis in front in the first, and once on an error by Michael Young on a grounder. And Holiday has walked both times. Here's the pitch to Elvis. Swung on and a bouncing ball toward the middle. Furcal to his left, has it, spins, throws, got him. Tremendous play from the outfield grass by Rafael Furcal to throw out Elvis, who is now 1 for 4. He had a single in the first inning to help build the first run of the game. That was driven in by the man coming up next, Josh Hamilton. No, that ball didn't come up from him, did it?
No, it didn't. And, you know, he might have lost a step for Colin, 33 years old, but he still has that rocket of an arm. Boy, he unleashes some good throws.
Hamilton, 1 for 3, an RBI in the first on a single. Swings at the first pitch again. He's not letting anything go by tonight. He had an RBI single just to the left of the second baseman Punto in the first. Struck out in the third and hit the pop-up that Freese dropped for an error in the 5th. Here's the pitch, fouled back. Literally swinging at everything. Hamilton now is in an 0-2 hole. Michael Young would follow. The outfield playing Josh way around to the left. The wind has died down now. The flags were pointing in from left and across to right. They're not anymore. And the 0-2. Just inside and low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Four to 3 Rangers, top half of the 6th inning. The bullpens are quiet. And the 1-2 offering. Swung on and pulled on the ground and threw a base hit as Pujols dove to his right and came up empty. And Josh Hamilton has his second single to right field. A 2-out base hit. And Michael Young coming up next. 8 hits in the game for the Rangers. Pujols just barely missed getting that one.
Couldn't quite get the glove down. He had the right reach out there, the right distance on his reach with the glove, but he was still up in the air just a smidgen as that ball sneaked underneath.
Well, Michael drove in the go-ahead run last inning on a wicked shot up the alley in left center for an RBI double. He's 2 for 3. He's also singled up the middle and struck out. Lynn comes home and Michael takes low, a slider down and away. Adrian Beltre waiting on deck. A very short lead for Hamilton with Pujols holding. Lynn delivers, swung on, that's it well, but right at Berkman and right. Back a step, he grabs it as he reaches up above his cap. And that will do it for the Rangers in the top of the 6th. The Rangers almost in an overshift with Kinsler way over toward the middle at second. First pitch, Albert takes, and it's a strike. Colby gets one over the outside corner. A cutter or a hard slider. 0-1 the count on the big right-handed batter. And the pitch swung on and a high foul hit off to the right. This will reach the seats. It is 0-2. Pujols hit a ball in the third that when it left the bat looked and sounded like it had a chance, but it went nowhere as the balls hit to straightaway left tonight. Just haven't carried very well. 0-2. Lewis over the top, strides and delivers, and just missed with a fastball down and in.
Well, Colby really wanted that. He thought he made a perfect pitch to Pujols, but getting him called out in a tight situation is virtually impossible.
Yeah, especially by Gary Cederstrom. I remember talking to Rick Helling a lot about Cederstrom, both from North Dakota, and Helling used to complain about Cederstrom's strike zone. He said he was very consistent, though. Small zone. 1-2. Struck him out looking. That time he got the call on a very similar pitch, and Albert Pujols is yelling at Gary Cederstrom on his way back to the dugout.
Well, what a pitch by Colby Lewis, backing it up. He threw the fastball inside, did not get the call on 0-2, came right back with the same pitch in exactly the same spot for the called third strike, and that's why Pujols is yelling at Cederstrom. One's a ball, one's a strike. How can it be that way?
And so much for the consistency.
Yep.
And now here's Berkman, who has a 2-run homer and reached on an error by Young on a hard grounder. Michael is guarding the line in the 6th inning, and a ground ball is to his left, foul. Strike one. And don't forget to log on to the ESPNradio.com AutoZone in the Zone poll question. You log on to ESPNradio.com and vote on who's going to be in the zone. It's brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Mike Napoli, the current leader, with 69% of the vote. 0-1. And the pitch swung on, fouled back. Rangers leading here 4-3. There's action again in the Ranger bullpen. This time it is Ogando warming. Derek Holland was warming up while the Rangers were batting in the top of the 5th, and it appeared the Rangers might pinch hit for Colby Lewis. Nothing in 2 on Berkman, batting from the left side. And the pitch inside and low. Back foot slider. So the count is 1-2. And if anyone benefited from the extra day yesterday, it might have been Alexi Ogando, who's had such a heavy workload. And Colby Lewis at this stage of the season, no doubt, isn't hurt by an extra day with all the innings he's thrown. 1-2. And here it comes to Berkman, inside and low. That one almost hit him in the foot. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on the former Astro, who spent the last couple of months with the Yankees last year. After rejecting a trade to the White Sox before the trading deadline, he accepted one to the Yankees. Then signed a 1-year deal this year with the Cardinals. But he will be back. The 2-2 pitch. Swung on and a little tapper on the ground, third base side. Beltre has to hurry. Bare hands and can't come up with it. Just couldn't get a grip on the ball to throw, and rather than risking a wild throw, Adrian decided to eat the ball.
Yeah, wise play on Beltre's part. Playing very, very deep and off the line. Almost impossible, even though Berkman doesn't run nearly as well as he used to. Adrian just simply had too far to go, and it would have had to have been a perfect pickup and release to even think about getting him.
He had the ball way back in his hand as we see it again. So Berkman with a rare infield single. And now here's Holiday. He's walked both times. 4-3 Rangers. It's the bottom of the 6th. The double play would get Colby out of the inning. Here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Holiday's had a frustrating World Series. 3 for 18, no RBIs. He has walked 7 times. The man who scored the winning run in the play-in game for the Colorado Rockies in 07 against San Diego. They wound up going to the World Series. A throw to first base, and diving back in is Lance Berkman. Not a base stealing threat.
I think Colby woke Berkman up over there. I don't think Berkman was expecting that. He dove back like it was going to be a close play.
On deck, David Freese, another righty. Here's the pitch, swung on, fouled off. Beltre plays very close to the line at third. That's just the way the Rangers defend against Matt Holliday. The outfield, however, pretty much straight away, with Murphy in left field, Hamilton in center field, and Cruz in right. 4 runs, 8 hits for the Rangers, 3 runs on 3 hits for St. Louis. A turn, a throw over, Berkman back. With men in scoring position today, the Rangers are 3 for 13. The Cardinals are 0 for 3. Ogando continues to warm. Now the Rangers are getting a lefty up. And the pitch is fouled back into the screen.
That's Derek Holland again starting to loosen out there alongside Alexi Ogando.
Holland, who worked as a reliever last year in the postseason. Pitched that gem in Game 5. And because of the rain out, available to pitch in Game 6. Rain out on the travel day. In Game 4, pardon me, his gem. 0-2. Here's the pitch. Fouled off by Holliday to the right and out of play. So a new baseball tossed out to Colby Lewis, who's only surrendered 3 hits and 2 walks. And about to throw his 85th pitch of the night. In the 7th, the Rangers are due to send up Beltre, Cruz, and Napoli against Lance Lynn, as there's nobody throwing in the Cardinal pen. 1 out, 1 on. Short lead over at first for Berkman. Here's the pitch, way outside, a slider. Holliday wouldn't chase that one. And the count is 1-2. Holliday takes a little walk away from the plate. Now the former Stillwater, Oklahoma High School star quarterback gets back into the box. 1-2 pitch and a little looping foul hit over toward the Cardinals dugout, just beyond it. It bounces once, hops over the tarpaulin and up into the stands. It's now 42 degrees in St. Louis. It was 50 degrees when this game started. There is no wind at all at the moment. Very tense in here tonight. An elimination game for the Cardinals. They've already won 2 of them in the playoffs this year in the division series against Philadelphia. 1-2 pitch, another looper foul off to the right. And both of those wins came in Philadelphia, as they had to face Oswalt and then Holliday. But won games 4 and 5. This Cardinals team that was 10.5 games out of the wild card position in late August. Quite an amazing story just to be here. And of course the Rangers, an amazing story to be in the World Series 2 years in a row after never in their first 38 years. 1-2, a throw to first, and again back is Berkman. Colby working hard to make the double play more turnable with Holliday hits one on the ground. The right-hander set at the belt. And here's the pitch. Swung on and a chopper hit to Michael Young. He's got it, wheels, drops the ball, runs to the bag, safe. Not only did he not get an out at second, but he dropped the ball as he went to throw it there, had trouble recovering it, and couldn't get an out at first base as he dove to tag Holliday and missed him.
Hey, he could have done one of 2 things, either dive to tag the bag with his glove instead of trying to go at Holliday, or run through the bag, and I think he would have beaten Holliday there anyway. But as it turned out, came up empty on both accounts. Well, what a strange game this has been.
Very sloppy ball game. That's the second error committed by the Rangers, both on Michael Young. The Cardinals have made 3, and Ron Washington's coming out to the mound. He's got Ogando ready with Freese and Molina coming up. And at this point, he may want the power arm.
Yep.
Even though Colby has pitched so well. He's thrown 88 pitches. And Wash out there in the blue Ranger jacket, talking things over. Hasn't motioned to the bullpen yet. Rangers lead here 4-3. And
he's going to stick
he's
with him.
Sticking with Colby Lewis. How about that?
Yep.
You very rarely see a Ron Washington visit to the mound when it's not to pull a pitcher.
I think that was one of those situations, Eric, where Ron really had something he wanted to say to the entire infield, whether it be tighten things up or, hey, let's just block that out and go get Freeze or whatever the case was. I think that was a message Ron wanted to deliver to the whole group.
Well, Freeze has struck out and grounded into a force play in which Holliday wiped out Elvis Andrus, who was trying to turn a double play. And that led to the Cardinals' third run, which came on a Molina infield out. First and second, one out, a 4-3 lead for Texas, and the pitch, ground ball to third, wide of the bag and foul. Boy, I had visions of that Miguel Cabrera ball in Detroit that bounded off the bag over Beltre's head that cost the Rangers a game.
Now, there's something to be said for our viewpoint being so jaded at times. Just, but I can't blame you for feeling that way.
Well, Ogando's ready in the bullpen, so is Holland. Berkman at second. Slow runner. Holliday at first. Doesn't run fast either, but he can break up a double play, as we've seen. A one pitch just inside. It is 1-1. Colby going to his brow with the fingers of his right hand after every pitch, which is his style. Wearing that well-worn blue cap with sweat stains all over it. Trying to get out of a jam here. First and second, one out. And the pitch. He missed with a slider. It's 2-1. Well, if he doesn't get Freeze, he's probably seeing his final batter.
Yep.
But bringing Ogando in with the bases loaded, not exactly a comfort zone for him. 2 balls, 1 strike. And the pitch swung on and popped foul off to the left and out of play. Colby got that fastball in. And the count is 2-2. The inning started with Pujols being called out on strikes. Berkman had a fluke infield single on a squibber up the third baseline. Holliday hit a ground ball that Michael Young should have gotten a force out on. Instead, he dropped the ball as he went to throw and got nobody. So instead of a runner at first base in 2 outs, there are runners at first and second and 1 out. Colby leaning in at 2-2. He is set. Around comes the arm. Swung on, grounded foul. That one hops over the screen in front of the Rangers' third base dugout.
Well, Colby has, forget about what the numbers on the scoreboard say. 3 runs doesn't tell anything. As Colby has just been outstanding tonight. He has made some great pitches. Errors really have forced him to throw probably an extra 20 pitches over where he should be.
He's up to 93 pitches right now, 22 in this inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the set. The pitch. Outside, he missed with a slider. Full count. Berkman away from the bag at second. Kinsler is shaded toward the middle, keeping him a little closer. Elvis also cheating a bit that way, hoping to turn 2. It's a full count on David Freeze. And the payoff pitch. It's high. He lost him. The bases are loaded. And now Ron Washington may regret staying with Colby Lewis to pitch to Freeze. Here comes Wash. And Yadier Molina will be facing Alexi Ogando, we would guess. Of this month, 6'4", 195-pounder, wears the number 41 on his back, works in short sleeves. Molina has hit 2 ground balls today, 1 to short, 1 to third. The 1 to third brought in the tying run in the 4th to deadlock the game at 3.
If Alexi can get a slider over early in the count, he's going to be in pretty good shape. If he's not able to, and he tries to pitch down with the fastball, he's asking for trouble against Molina.
Berkman at third, Holiday at second, Freeze at first. Kinsler toward the middle, hoping to turn two. Ogando at the belt. Kicks and comes home. Slider missed just a little bit low. Ball one. Nick Punto on deck. 4 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for the Rangers. 3 runs, 3 hits, 3 errors for the Cardinals. What an odd line in a strange game so far. A 1-ball count. The pitch on the way, very high. It's 2-0. In the outfield, Hamilton a step to the right, a dead center. Murphy straight away and left, Cruz straight away and right. Molina, a hard guy to walk. Ogando's first pitch was close, the second one wasn't. Now 2-0, here he comes. Way inside, ball 3. He has no place to put him. The bases are full of white-shirted Cardinals. Holland continues to throw in the Ranger bullpen. (3-0) on Yadier Molina. Ogando to the belt. And here's the pitch. There's a strike. Fastball away. It's 3-1. And you've got to get a pretty good chunk of the plate to get a strike from Gary Cederstrom.
Yep.
(4-3) Texas, bottom of the 6th. We've had high drama all night long. Ogando ready, and here it comes. He walked him, he almost hit him, and the game is tied. Fastball chest high, way inside. It's the Rangers 4 and the Cardinals 4. Molina trots down to first. Berkman scores. Holiday over to third. Freeze down to second. And Punto will be the batter. Guy who handles the bat well. See how the Rangers decide to play the infield here. Punto has never faced Ogando. He's a good butter. It's Holiday at third, Freeze at second, Molina at first. Double play depth with 1 out. The pitch in there for a strike. Fastball away at 96. The outfield way around to the left against Nick Punto, who struck out both times against Colby Lewis. No balls and a strike. John Jay, a lefty on deck. Here's the pitch. Low, throw to third base, and out at third base. Holiday is picked off by Mike Napoli. And the third base coach, Jose Oquendo, is in the face of third base umpire Alfonso Marquez. Here comes Tony La Russa.
Oh, what a good release by Napoli, and Beltre going over to handle that throw. Napoli never even got up on his feet. He threw from his knees. And I thought for a second Beltre was going to block the bag off, and that's what he did. He got that foot in front of Holiday's hand. He didn't get the knee all the way down, but he got the foot in front of the bag between Holiday's hand and the bag, and just enough there to be able to slap the tag on Holiday's shoulder.
Tony is still out there and now heads back toward the Cardinals' first base dugout in that red Cardinals warm-up jacket. So now there's an open base at third base, and there are 2 outs. Freeze is at second, Molina's at first, and it's an 0-1 count on Nick Punto. In a game of messy defense, what a huge defensive play that is by who else? Mike Napoli. And we asked, what else can this man do? Well, he could pick a guy off third.
Yeah.
Make it 0-2 now on Punto. It's a 4-4 tie. And here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled back and out of play. Garcia, Salas, and Lynn have pitched for the Cardinals in this one. Lewis and now Ogando for the Rangers. Two unearned runs allowed by Colby Lewis, 2 unearned runs allowed by Fernando Salas, the Cardinal reliever. And now Napoli going out to talk to Ogando with the 0-2 count.
Hey, you can connect with the Rangers online without even leaving your social circles. Like us at facebook.com/Rangers or follow us at twitter.com/Rangers. Show your Rangers pride when you socialize. Like us and follow us today. Now Punto back in the box at 0-2. Freeze away from second, Molina from first. Ogando comes home, and the pitch is high. Missed badly on a fastball. It's 1-2. So Ogando is charged with a blown save for the bases loaded walk. Now trying to get out of the inning in a tie. The Cardinals have come from behind to tie it 3 times. The Rangers once. The pitch is inside, gets away from Napoli, and the runners move down to second and third. As that ball almost hit Punto in the foot. Napoli got some leather on it on the backhand side, but couldn't contain the wild pitch. And runners now at second and third for Punto. The count's gone from 0-2 to 2-2. What else can we have in this game?
Well, I don't know.
I don't want to ask.
Yeah. Lexi, the last 2 times that he's had problems, and this is one of them, he has really tried to overthrow the ball. And maybe he just doesn't feel like he's strong enough to trust his good stuff right now. But he's having problems.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men in scoring position. Here's the pitch to Punto, way outside, full count. And the problems that he had late in the season as a starter when he was running out of gas, showing up here in the World Series as a reliever.
Yep.
The inability to locate his pitches. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Punto waiting from the left side, and here's the pitch. He walked and he missed inside with a slider and missed badly. So the bases are reloaded. Jay is the batter. Holland is ready in the bullpen, and Derek Holland, certainly not used to this sort of situation, will be coming into the game with the bases loaded and 2 outs, as Ron Washington has already pointed out to the Rangers bullpen in left center field. John Jay is the scheduled batter. They do have Alan Craig, a right-handed hitting outfitter, who could come off the bench right here. But Ogando facing 2 batters, walking them both, throwing a wild pitch, got credit for a third of an inning due to Napoli's pickoff. And Derek Holland, the hero of Game 4 with 8 1/3 shutout 2-hit innings, is running to the mound. After Schumacher came out of the game early in a double switch, and it will be Holland against Jay, who grounded out to second in his 1 at bat. And Jay held his own this year against left-handed pitching at about 277 against the lefties. But remember, in this World Series, he's 0 for 15. Freeze at third, Molina at second, and Punto at first. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th, a 4-4 tie. The outfield way around to the left. Holland the set. The kick and the pitch fouled off as he went after the first pitch and had a bat handle grounder weakly over to the third base side on a pitch that was inside and probably off the plate. Way off the plate as we see a replay.
Goodness gracious.
A little surprised, actually, that he didn't have a take sign there.
Yeah.
With Holland unaccustomed to this role. Bases loaded, 2 outs, a tie game. Holland working 0-1. And here's the pitch. Swung on, broken bat grounder right back to the mound. Holland sets, throws to first, got him, and the inning is over. But the game is tied on another unearned run. 1 run in the inning, 1 hit, 3 walks.
Ian Kinsler with an RBI double as well. So we head to the top of the 7th inning, a wild one in Game 6, a win for the Rangers. They win the World Series, leading the series 3-2. But this ball game all tied up at 4 apiece going into the top of the 7th inning. Here with the play-by-play is Steve Busby.
Thank you, Brian. It'll be Adrian Beltre to start things off against the big right-hander Lance Lynn, and a defensive change for Tony La Russa's club. The Cardinals now have Alan Craig playing in left field in place of Matt Holliday. So we haven't heard anything about Holiday hurting himself when he was picked off at third. We'll keep it updated for you. Breaking ball is first pitch to Adrian Beltre, and it's a bit low for ball one. So 4-4 game. One thing I will say about Holiday, remember he had problems with a hand injury the last part of the season. Beltre swings, drives one high and deep. Right center field, going back is Jay. Goodbye. Adrian Beltre on the second pitch of the 7th inning puts the Rangers on top 5-4. Goodness.
He had chances to drive in runs in the first, the third, and the fifth. Couldn't get it done with people on base. Got it done there. Finally taking the opposite field approach. He'd been trying to pull everything.
Oh, my heavens. So Adrian Beltre, excuse me, coming through with that, and Nelly Cruz up there flailing at the first fastball from Lynn, and no contact. It's strike one.
Mark Zepchinski, a lefty, is up in the Cardinal bullpen.
A 410-foot home run to right center field by Adrian Beltre. And the Rangers jump back on top, and Cruz fouls the next pitch away. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Now, the Rangers now have scored in 5 different innings tonight. 1 run in each the first, second, fourth, fifth, and now the 7th. Lynn to the wide, the 0-2 pitch. And Cruz takes a breaking ball that's just a little bit low for ball one. Well, and this crowd here at Busch Stadium all of a sudden has just gone completely silent. And Cruz swings and drives one deep to left field down the line. Goodbye. Back-to-back thunder shots from Beltre, and now Nelly Cruz, and the Rangers lead the Cardinals 6-4.
That was a patented Cruz moonshot. My goodness, how high up on the foul pole as that ball went by. The only question was fair or foul, and maybe what zip code it would land in.
6-4 Texas. Here's Mike Napoli, and he takes a pitch on the outside corner for strike one. Well, and Nelly Cruz got a hanging slider that stayed right on the inside corner, sat there and spun and screamed, "Hit me," and Nelly obliged. Pitch to Napoli, that's a little bit low, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, in what has been a very strange game tonight, 5 total errors between the two clubs, and now back-to-back home runs. Napoli slapping one foul back to the screen, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
It's the first time either team's had a 2-run lead. Boy, that boy landed well up above the first deck. I think it caught the 3rd deck of the 4 tiers out there.
I think you're right. 1-2 pitch to Napoli is inside. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now there's a small second deck, and the 3rd deck hangs right over the top of that, but that's a good 30 feet back of the playing surface, maybe 40 feet back. Next pitch to Napoli, high and away, and so what else is new? Mike Napoli has worked the full count. He's walked twice already tonight, and 5 times in the series. 1 out of 1 officially with an RBI. We just had the lights go out in our booth. That's a little spooky. Payoff pitch to Napoli is called strike 3. Outside corner, Lynn nailed it down with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and Napoli retired for the first time tonight. He's now 1 out of 2. And back to the bench he goes with David Murphy coming up. Well, folks, the Texas Rangers season tickets offer access to the best seating locations and the best prices at Rangers Ballpark. Plus, full and half-season ticket holders receive fantastic benefits and postseason options, kind of like this year. Reserve your season seat for 2012. You can call 972-RANGERS, or you can go online and order at texasrangers.com/seasons. David Murphy takes a pitch a little bit low for ball one. Lance Lynn into the wide. The 1-0 pitch is high and away. It's 2 balls and no strikes. 419 feet, the estimated distance on Nelly Cruz blast, but that was the straightaway left. You remember the wind has been kind of coming in from left field a little bit tonight. It has cut most of the balls down, not that one. 2-0 pitch. Murphy takes it in the dirt, and the count moves to 3-0.
For a ball hit right down the line, that's a really long home run.
Goodness gracious. And Darren Oliver is starting to loosen in the Ranger bullpen. Pitcher spot is next. And Derek Holland out of the on-deck circle. 3-0 pitch. And Murphy takes a strike. It's 3-1. So Derek Holland, the pitcher of record for the Rangers as we stand now. He has a 6-4 lead. 3-1 pitch, line drive, base hit to center field, right over Lynn's head. Oh, and David Murphy just shot a rocket about cap high, and Lynn, a big guy at 6'6", had to duck down. And David Murphy, along with his walk, now has a base hit. And Derek Holland will come up, no doubt being asked to bunt with 1 on and 1 out. Getting the word on Matt Holliday, the injured his pinky finger. Is that what the word is?
Severely bruised right pinky, jamming it into Beltre's foot at third base.
Holland around to bunt very early, showing bunt. Now Lynn just holding the ball in the set position. And David Murphy not tipping his hand at first as David Freese came down the line from third and positioned himself about 45 feet from home plate. And nothing had happened yet. Yeah, we mentioned that Adrian Beltre going over to catch the ball at third, and Holliday got his foot in the way. There's a bunt by Holland, back to the mound. Lynn throws to second. They get the force there on the sliding David Murphy. And Derek Holland will exchange places with Murphy. The sacrifice is not successful. It goes 1-6 on the put out at second. And it'll bring up Ian Kinsler. Well, the Rangers not able to execute that sacrifice. As a matter of fact, tonight they have not executed a sacrifice in any of the 3 attempts, bunting into a double play in 1 point. And a couple of fielders' choices in the other 2. Now Lance Lynn being tended to by Cardinal training staff. I don't know what in the world happened to him. Gary Cederstrom, the home plate umpire, out the check, but apparently he's all right. He's going to stay in the game. Now it gives us a chance to remind you that it's that time. You have 0.9% interest in some of the biggest rebates offered all year. Get to McDavid Honda in Irving across from the Irving Mall at 183 in Beltline, or you can visit us online at McDavidIrving.com. Come join the McDavid Honda family today. The Holland at first, 2 outs. Ian Kinsler steps in, 1 out of 3 tonight. RBI double and a walk. He has scored a run. Lynn sets at the belt. Long hold now and steps off the bag, or steps off the pitching rubber as Derek Holland gets back to the bag.
And Scott Feldman is up in the Ranger bullpen. Oliver has warmed and taken a seat. Ron Washington keeping his options open to mix and match through the 7th inning now that he has a 2-run lead.
Lynn ready, a little toss to first. And looking at the Cardinals coming up in the bottom of the 7th, it'll be Rafael Furcal, but don't forget now Lance Lynn, the pitcher, is hitting in the number 2 spot. And Tony La Russa, as he has done 3 times now in this series, had Lynn take plenty of time to allow the bullpen to get loose as Octavio Dotel just had begun loosening at the time that Kinsler was walking to home plate. So La Russa having his pitcher kill time by staying set. That was where Lance Lynn, the former pitcher, had been hitting. So when the Cardinals come to bat in the 7th, it'll be Furcal and Terrio and then Pujols. And what's important right now for the Rangers is they have a 2-run lead with which to work, 6-4 after back-to-back home runs to open up the 7th inning off Lynn by Beltre and Cruz. So Dotel, the veteran right-hander, on for the Cardinals. Dotel, who appeared in 29 ball games, after coming over from the Blue Jays in the American League. 3-3 his mark with the Cardinals. And the first pitch to Ian Kinsler is a fastball strike. It's 0-1. Eric Holland, the runner at first. Dotel comes set, and the right-hander deals. Fastball outside corner. Did he go around? The appeal down to first base umpire Jerry Lane, who said nope, he did not swing. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ian denied an RBI double in the second. He also struck out and flied to left field. Dotel's 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled high in the air down the right side. That will drift back into the seats. And while out of play, it's a ball and 2 strikes. Dotel coming on for the Cardinals in this 6th game of the World Series. This is his 4th appearance against the Rangers in this series. Back to the plate he comes. Fastball all the way to the backstop. And down to second base goes Derek Holland. So all of a sudden Holland, who has pretty good speed, a pretty good athlete, in scoring position for Ian Kinsler.
He looked absolutely frisky out there.
Well, pretty good combination of having thrown 8+ shutout innings last time out, cool weather, and being the 6th game of the World Series. I would imagine he's a little excited and rightly feeling frisky. Dotel back to the plate. 2-2 pitch is hit up the middle. That's a base hit. Holland being waved around third. Up with the ball is Jay. The throw toward the plate is not in time. Down to second base goes Ian Kinsler. And a huge RBI single by Ian puts the Rangers on top 7-4.
When you go back to the bunt by Holland, Steve, and it wasn't good enough for a sacrifice, but at least it kept the Rangers out of the double play and helped set up this insurance run.
Ian Kinsler, his 2nd RBI of the night, his first 2 RBIs of the World Series. He drives in Derek Holland. 1 pitch after Holland had gone to second base on a wild pitch by Dotel. Well, Kinsler with the RBI single. He advances to second on the throw. And here's Elvis Andrus. Now time called. Is Andrus going to go out and go down and talk to Dave Anderson, the third base coach? Well, the Rangers with some thunder to start things, and now some timely hitting by Ian Kinsler with 2 outs, have taken a 3-run lead here in the top of the 7th inning. Andrus at the plate, 1 for 4. And Dotel sets. A little inside spin move, and Kinsler not going anywhere. Now the Rangers 7 runs on 12 hits. The Cardinals 4 runs on 3 hits. That's correct, 3 hits only. Rangers have committed a couple of errors. Dotel to the plate, and the pitch is on the outside corner for strike 1. Elvis had a first inning single. Also line to right, fly to left, and been out on a nice play by his counterpart, Rafael Furcal. 0-1 Kinsler, the lead from second base. Outfield very shallow. And Dotel to the plate, and a strike on a fastball. It's 0-2. Well, the Rangers, after 40 years, now if you want to go back further, 51 years of frustration, going back to the Washington Senator days, making a statement here in the 7th inning. They have a 3-run lead. Pitch to Elvis, a slider outside. He checked his swing in time. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Last year, got to the World Series the first time in franchise history. Lost in 5 games to the Giants, and this year, not too many outs to go, folks. Dotel to the plate, and Elvis swings and fouls it off to the right, and back into the seat, still 1-2.
Well, the way that this game has gone, I wouldn't take anything for granted at any point. And one thing that'll be interesting will be to see if Ron Washington, if and when he makes a defensive replacement at first base.
Dotel agrees with the sign. Now he's ready. Check of Kinsler, the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed a sinking fastball in on the fist. And that got Elvis. Mitch Moreland into the ball game now, taking over for Michael Young at first base. And Moreland just straight up in the lineup for Michael Young. And Derek Holland back to the hill. Rafael Furcal, the leadoff man, takes a fastball outside from the young left-hander. It's ball one. Holland came in with the bases loaded, 2 outs in the 6th, and got a 2-pitch ground out from John Jay. Fastball is delivered to the outside corner. Furcal taking all the way, and it's a ball and a strike. Furcal tonight 0 for 3. Holland back to him. Off-speed pitch is bunted, but bunted foul at home. And now Derek with the advantage in the count at 1-2.
Nice curveball there from Derek Holland. A pitch that's been a good one for him over the second half of the season.
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up too, Eric, because that was a pitch that earlier in the year was missing from his repertoire. And once he got back to it, it seems that things kind of fell into place for him. Holland, feet spread across the rubber. Into the windup he goes, and the left-hander deals. Fastball low and inside. Skip roping out of the way is Furcal. The count is 2-2. Rangers on top 7-4. We play in the bottom of the 7th inning, game 6 of the 2011 World Series. Rangers leading this series 3-2. Holland to the plate, a little tapper out in front of the home plate. Holland fields, throws, gets him. Furcal 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. And Ryan Theriot will come up for his first at bat.
And there's no one throwing behind Holland. Both Feldman and Oliver warmed up, so they could both get ready quickly if needed.
Theriot came on during that double switch for Tony La Russa. Theriot in the World Series has had 5 at-bats. He has had a single and an RBI in those 5 trips. Also scored a run. Right-handed hitter up there against the left-hander Holland. And the first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Theriot, who originally was the everyday shortstop for the Cardinals, goes after the next pitch and pops it up. On the infield, Moreland and Kinsler. It'll be Ian Kinsler stepping onto the infield grass. And out number 2 is in the books for Derek Holland and the Rangers here in the 7th inning. Two gone, and this is exactly when you like to see Albert Pujols come to the plate. Bases empty, 2 outs, and you have a 3-run lead late in the ball game. If you get him out now, unless something untoward happens, you don't have to face him again in this series.
And he went 0 for 3 against Holland in game 4.
Holland into the wind. First pitch is a fastball that's just a bit low. Pujols taking all the way. It's ball 1. Albert tonight is 0 for 3. Struck out his last time up, and that was against Colby Lewis in the 6th inning. Holland peering in for the sign. Left-hander ready to go. And the off-speed pitch a little bit low. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Derek Holland, the 3rd pitcher used tonight by Ron Washington. Into the wind he goes, and the pitch is a fastball poured right through there. Pujols taking all the way. It's 2-1. Colby Lewis started, went 5 1/3 innings. He gave up just 3 hits, 4 runs, but only 2 of them were earned. 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. Holland's 2-1 pitch, grounded out towards short. On 2 big hops, Elvis has it. Fires onto Moreland, and Derek Holland has a 1-2-3 neat and tidy 7th inning. And we have finished 7 complete here in St. Louis.
Hamilton 2 for 4, 2 singles and an RBI. And the pitch is a strike, breaking ball in. Hamilton opened the scoring with a hard ground ball single in the 1st inning as the Rangers had a 1-0 lead, 3 batters in. Moreland on deck, then Beltre. And the pitch swung on, bouncing ball right side to his left.
Terrio has a play on this one. Tosses quickly over to first, and there's one away. Now Moreland gets his first at bat after Michael Young was 2 for 4. A single and a double, a run batted in, but also made 2 errors, leading to 2 unearned runs. Zepchinski is the 5th Cardinal pitcher. They've used Garcia, the starter, for 3 innings. He allowed 2 runs. Salas for 2 innings. He allowed 2 unearned runs. Lynn, who is currently on the hook, for an inning and 2/3, he allowed 3 runs, including the home runs by Beltre and Cruz starting the 7th. And then Dotel, a third of an inning, allowed an inherited runner, but none of his own. The pitch to Mitch is in there for a strike. Moreland 1 for 8 in this World Series, has only hit a home run. 7 runs, 12 hits for the Rangers, 4 runs, 3 hits for the Cardinals. We are in the 8th. Big high leg kick in the pitch, swung on, little number, first base side, off the mound. Zepchinski turns, throws to first, and got him. That's an excellent play by Mark Zepchinski. That ball just barely fair, about 50 feet up the line, and throwing over to Pujols in very heavy traffic, as the Rangers are just now getting Mike Adams up in the bullpen, with Lance Berkman due to lead off in the bottom of the 8th for St. Louis. Perhaps Ron Washington plans to let Holland pitch to Berkman and force him to bat right-handed. It's Berkman, Craig, and Freese due for St. Louis in the 8th inning. 7-4 Rangers, a 3-run 7th inning, the difference. And here's the guy who drove in the go-ahead run, Beltre, with a solo homer. And the pitch is outside. Adrian led off the inning and cranked one into the seats in right center field after missing an RBI opportunities his first 3 times up, with a strikeout, a double play ball, and a ground out. Cruz would be next, and the pitch is in there for a strike as Zepchinski stays in there to face the righty. The Cardinals having already used Salas, Lynn, and Dotel. Now, of course, they do have starting pitchers who they could use in relief: Edwin Jackson, Kyle Loesch. The pitch is low. Tony has said he would not use Chris Carpenter in relief tonight. And Mike Adams, the tall right-hander out of Sinton, Texas, continues to loosen out in the Ranger pen. What a job Derek Holland has done. 4 batters faced, 4 batters retired. He's the pitcher of record, and he scored a run. Beltre swings. It's a little skimmer out to second base. Terrio up and throwing. An easy play, a 1-2-3 inning for Mark Zepchinski, getting 2 lefties and a righty. And we're going to the bottom of the 8th. The Rangers lead the Cardinals 7-4. On Jay on a ground ball to the mound when the game was tied. Then the Rangers got 3 in the top of the 7th, and Holland had a 1-2-3 shutdown inning in the bottom. He will face Lance Berkman, who's been on base all 3 times and has scored 3 of the Cardinal runs on a 2-run homer, an infield hit, and reached on an error. And the pitch is swung on in the sky to short right field. Cruz is in and toward the line. Kinsler going out. Cruz says he has it, and he does. And Berkman, who had both of the hits off Holland in the game in Texas when Holland went 8 1/3, is retired quickly here, and that will bring up right-handed batting Alan Craig for his first at bat. He came on when Matt Holliday got injured, when he was picked off by Mike Napoli back in the 6th inning. And Craig is 3 for 12 in the World Series. All 3 of his hits run-scoring hits. 2 RBI singles off Alexi Ogando, and a home run. A home run coming off Matt Harrison. Holland to Craig, and it is pumped over the outside corner for a strike. And Holland right now with machine-like precision.
Yeah, and Ron Washington, I don't think the thought ever occurred to him to take Holland out even after facing Berkman. He just throwing the ball too well.
Oh, one pitch, that's hit high in the air to deep left field. Murphy going back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. It's gone. Alan Craig with his 2nd home run of the World Series. It's a 7-5 Ranger lead. Well, that might change Wash's thinking a little bit.
It changed mine real fast.
They have Freese and Molina, right-handed batters due up, and then the pitcher spot.
Looked like a hanging breaking ball. Slider, maybe a cut fastball that didn't quite get in there. And Craig has shown in this series a very good low ball hitter, and that ball was down around knee-high on the inner part of the plate. He jumped all over it.
That's only the 4th Cardinal hit, but they have 2 homers.
And the pitch to Freese is outside. You don't be walking anybody and bringing the tying run up. Molina on deck. Freese has struck out, grounded into a force play, and drawn a walk. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and he missed inside. It's 2-0.
Time for Napoli to take a trip out there. It looks like Derek might be speeding things up again for himself a little bit.
The big over-the-top windup, and the pitch swung on and missed. Fastball away. Freese might have done Derek Holland a favor there.
Yep.
Borderline pitch. Gary Cederstrom does not call many of them strikes. It's a 2-1 count, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. And here it comes. Swung on and a high foul down the right field line. Slicing back out of play. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And Freese going after that 2-0 pitch that was probably outside. That's as good as a trip to the mound by the catcher.
So it's gone from 2-0 to 2-2 on David Freese. Holland is ready. Pumps and deals. Swung on, ground ball to short. Elvis to his left, scoops it up, almost falls, throws to first, and he gets him. A scary moment there as Elvis got his feet tangled up, but stayed with it somehow and recovered to get the second out of the 8th inning. It is 7-5, and now it is Molina.
We have seen more defensive misadventures tonight, and some have resulted in errors and some haven't. That was just a routine ground ball that you never see Elvis have a problem footwork-wise on, and he almost fell flat on his face.
He looked like he was on roller skates.
He did.
Now Molina, he's 0 for 2, but he has 2 RBIs, 1 on a ground ball, 1 on a bases-loaded walk that tied it in the 6th, and he takes a curve from Holland, a little bit low for ball 1. 10 men left for the Rangers tonight, 5 men left for the Cardinals. Each team 2 home runs. The 1-0 pitch swung on, line drive right field. Cruz coming on, has to play it on a hop. Molina is on. The pitcher spot is due next, and Gerald Laird, the former Ranger, is going to bat for Octavio Dotel, and this will be Laird's first at-bat of the World Series. He got in late defensively in the blowout Cardinal win. But Laird is pinch hitting here, not having had an at-bat in quite some time. And Gerald in the postseason has only had 1. He is 0 for 1, but the only other man Tony La Russa has on his bench who could pinch hit is a lefty, and Daniel Descalso. Now Ron Washington is coming out, and he will no doubt go to Mike Adams to come on and pitch to either Laird or Descalso if Tony wants to use his last bench player, and we'll see what his decision is in a desperate situation. Laird is going back to the dugout. Daniel Descalso is going to bat for Gerald Laird. Descalso has had only 1 at-bat in this World Series. He's gone 0 for 1. In the postseason, he's 1 for 2 and a couple of sacrifice bunts. Darren Oliver is up in the Ranger bullpen. John Jay is due next. And Adams, who is very slow to the plate, will work with Molina over at first base, who's a very slow runner. And Adams also a very slow worker, very deliberate in getting ready, wearing long sleeves, the number 37 on his back. 7-5 Rangers, bottom of the 8th, 2 outs, tying run at the plate, Descalso. High set by Adams, and the pitch swung on, ground ball to deep short. Elvis has it, Kinsler doesn't cover it first, throw to first, safe. A bouncing throw was late. Kinsler did not cover second base as Elvis looked over there first. And by the time he threw to first, he bounced the throw, and Descalso beat it.
Descalso, give him credit. He was running out of the box the whole way, not taking anything for granted. And that little look by Elvis to second base, whether Kinsler could have gotten there in time, we'll never know. But the throw late, even though it did bounce in, and it was a nice play by Moreland to make the grab.
Now John Jay, the left-handed batter, who is 0 for 2 and 0 for 16 in the World Series. The tying runs are aboard. And now Jason Mott, the right-hander, is up in the Cardinals bullpen. Well, the strange events of this night continue to happen. Elvis almost fell down on a ground ball 2 batters ago. Then on a totally routine ground ball to short, Kinsler was late covering. Elvis decided not to throw to second. Now, what would have been a very close play, even on a really slow runner, Molina bounced the throw to first, and now Adams is in a pressure-packed situation.
Boy.
The outfield way around to the left. 2 on, 2 out, 7-5 Rangers. And here's the pitch. Swung on, line drive, right field. It's a base hit. Rounding third is Molina. He'll have to stop, and the bases are loaded as John Jay gets his first hit of the World Series and loads him up for Rafael Furcal. Unbelievable. This inning is still going. Molina at third, Descalso at second, Jay at first. Furcal, the batter, he's gone 0 for 4. And Mike Maddox is going out to the mound to talk to Mike Adams.
Now, this is something, though, the Cardinals did the last month of the season and all through the postseason so far. They've gotten on a roll. They've gotten on a roll with guys that are role players, if you will, doing the job in front of the guys that are paid to drive in all the runs, and they've gotten it done. It's not something new for St. Louis or their fans. For the Rangers, though, how to put the brakes on it is by playing good baseball, and they just haven't in this inning defensively. Or this game, I should say, not just this inning.
Well, 3 straight singles officially. And Furcal 0 for 4, switch hitter batting left. Bats with the tying runs in scoring position. The go-ahead run at first. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. 7-5 Rangers. Adams out of the high hold. Big high leg kick, in the pitch swung on, and a number hit back toward the mound. Adams has it, first base side, underhands to first, and he puts out the fire. 1 run in the inning on 4 hits. The Cardinals leave him loaded. We're going to the 9th. Rangers 7, Cardinals 5 on the Texas Rangers ESPN Radio Network. At shortstop. So in the 9th, Neftali Feliz, who's warming now, will face Terrio, Pujols, and Berkman. Cruz, a home run his last time up, takes a strike. It was his 8th home run of this postseason. Ties Carlos Beltran's record. 1 for 4 in the game. He has scored 2 runs. And the 0-1 to Nelly, swung on, and a broken bat grounder back to Mott. Sets and throws. And Cruz is retired. Remember, Cruz reached in the 4th when Matt Holliday dropped a fly ball. One of the 3 costly Cardinal errors. The Rangers scored 2 unearned runs. Cardinals got 2 as a result of Michael Young errors. But it was in the 7th with the score tied 4-4 that Beltre homered to lead off the inning against Lance Lynn. Cruz followed with a homer, and with 2 outs, Kinsler had an RBI single off Dotel. And now here's Mike Napoli. 1 for 2, an RBI single that gave the Rangers a brief lead in the 4th. He swings and misses. It is 0-1. He has walked twice, once intentionally, and he has struck out looking. 7 runs, 12 hits for the Rangers, 2 errors. 5 runs, 7 hits for the Cardinals, 3 errors. The Rangers have left 10 on base. The Cardinals have stranded 8. And Mott is the Cardinals' 6th pitcher of the game. The pitch is way outside. Mark Zepchinski worked a 1-2-3 8th inning. And now Mott, who was the losing pitcher here in game 2. The first Colby Lewis-Jaime Garcia matchup. Lewis was by far the better starter today.
Lasted 5 1/3, gave up 4 runs, only 2 of them earned. Garcia was pulled after 3 innings, gave up 2 runs, all of them his own fault with 5 hits and 2 walks. Here's the 1-1 pitch way outside. Mott with that short arm former catcher delivery misses to Napoli, and it's 2-1. It's 42 degrees here in St. Louis. The kick and the pitch inside as Napoli was looking to load up, and the pitch in tight on him. The count is 3-1. Among Napoli's contributions tonight, a huge pickoff of Matt Holliday when the bases were loaded back in the 6th inning at third base. When you go back through the key plays of this game, there are so many of them, but none as big as that defensively. 3-1. He swings and tops 1 foul.
Well, that's on the good side. Good plays that are huge for the Rangers. There were some bad plays that have been huge for the Rangers too, and the Cardinals had more than their share of them tonight so far.
A very bizarre game in a lot of ways, especially for Game 6 of a World Series. And not playing on a wet, sloppy field. 3-2 pitch inside. I think this is the type of game they feared we would have if we had played last night in drizzle and wet conditions. Now Napoli down at first, 1 out, and Murphy will be the batter. The pitcher spot is due next. Mike Adams is currently the Ranger pitcher. And Murphy comes up. Pinch hit in the 5th inning, drew a walk. Then had a base hit in the 7th up the middle. Craig Gentry started this game in center. Had a big hit, scored a run. Murphy is swinging a foul back into the netting. It is 0-1. Again, Terrio, Pujols, and Berkman are due for the Cards in the 9th, with Craig in the hole. He's had 4 hits in this World Series. They've all been RBI hits, 2 of them home runs. 0-1. The pitch is outside and high to Murphy. Fastball at 96, 1 ball and 1 strike. Another really big play right now, the wild pitch that allowed Derek Holland to go down to second base in the 7th inning before Kinsler singled to drive him home. 1-1, swing and a miss. Murphy was late on a low fastball at 97. The outfielder round to the left against David Murphy. Mott set and comes home. A swing and a slow ground ball to short. Up with it to Scalzo. Double pumps, throws to second, gets the force. No chance for a double play, just too slowly hit. And Napoli, who turned his ankle earlier in the game, was not running hard on that play. There are 2 outs on the 6-4 fielder's choice. And now it'll be Endy Chavez to pinch hit for pitcher Mike Adams. Chavez has not had an at-bat in this World Series. And in the postseason, 0 for 4 after hitting .301 in the regular year, platooning most of the season in center field with Craig Gentry. But in the postseason, David Murphy has been the left-handed hitting outfield choice for Ron Washington. So Mott will work now with Murphy at first and 2 outs. And remember that the stolen base against Jason Mott in Game 2 by Ian Kinsler was critical. Mott very slow to the plate. Murphy can run. He's got a short lead right now. Pitch to Chavez, swung on and fouled back. The Rangers do not want Murphy thrown out here. In the event we go to extra innings, they would not want the pitcher spot coming up to lead off the 10th. Perish the thought, but you got to keep all these things in mind. Kinsler would be next if Chavez keeps the inning going. It's 7-5 Texas in the top of the 9th. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rangers led 1-0 in the first, trailed 2-1 at the end of the first on a Berkman 2-run homer. Took the lead in the second. Pardon me, tied it in the second, took the lead in the fourth, lost the lead in the fourth. Now Mott delivers, and Endy hits a high fly to right, not very deep. Berkman back and toward the line, settles under it, makes the catch. And that'll do it for the Rangers in the top of the 9th. No runs, no hits, a walk, and one left. And buckle your seatbelts, Ranger fans. We're going to the bottom of the ninth. Neftali Feliz will be headed to the mound. It's the Rangers 7 and the Cardinals 5 on the Texas Rangers ESPN Radio Network. Feliz 2 2/3 in the World Series. No runs, no hits, but 3 walks and a hit batter. He has made things exciting. Terrio, the hitter, he's 0 for 1. The corners play up against a bunt. And the first pitch from Neffy, it's low for ball 1. Twice he has walked the leadoff batter. Once he has hit the leadoff batter upon entering a game. The 1-0 pitch taking all the way. It is a strike at 95. The right fielder, Cruz, way over toward the line. And very deep, and Beltre is getting his attention and moving him in. Terrio not a power hitter. The set by Neffy and the pitch. Breaking ball, and he missed down low. 2-1. Josh Hamilton, the center fielder, several strides to the right of straightaway. Murphy over toward the gap in left center. Now, the first baseman, Moreland, is dropping back. And here's the 2-1 pitch, fouled back. Terrio with a good rip on a fastball. The count is even at 2-2. Lewis, Ogando, Holland, and Adams have preceded Feliz. Holland is the pitcher of record. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Feliz set, kicks and fires. Struck him out swinging on a high fastball at 98 miles an hour. 1 down in the bottom of the ninth. Rangers leading 7-5, and Mr. Pujols coming up, not representing the tying run.
Huge out for Neffy Feliz on that at bat by Terrio for exactly that reason. Eric, you mentioned it's a great point. You prevent Pujols from being able to tie the ball game with 1 swing of the bat.
Albert tonight is 0 for 4. Feliz the high hold and the pitch. Swung on and drilled to left center. It's a base hit for Pujols. It rolls deep in the alley and all the way to the wall. Pujols will go to second base with a double, and Berkman will bat as the tying run in the bottom of the ninth inning. It's never easy. Berkman coming up, Craig on deck. Berkman has been the Cardinals' best hitter in the World Series. Tonight he has a 2-run homer and an infield single. He's reached on an error by Young at first, and he's fly to right. He has scored 3 of their runs, driven in 2. The outfield deep and around to the left. The Rangers are not concerned at all against Pujols. They're concerned with Lance Berkman. Switch hitter batting left. Everybody is standing here at Busch Stadium. And the pitch, breaking ball inside, ball 1. Berkman against Feliz, 1 for 5 and a walk in his career. Feliz ready, and here it comes. He missed way outside. It's 2-0. Feliz snap catches the throw back to the mound by Mike Napoli. Working in short sleeves, the number 30 on his back, featuring a red fielder's glove. Feliz peers into Napoli. Berkman the tying run at the plate. 1 out in the bottom of the ninth. In comes the pitch. He missed inside. It's 3-0. Feliz again snap catching that throw back to the mound. Goes to the back of the mound, dislodges some dirt from his spikes on the Spike Master 2011. 3-0 on Berkman with Craig on deck. Freeze would follow. And the pitch, it's high, ball 4. The tying runs are on base. The winning run is coming to the plate in Craig, who had a home run in his only at bat tonight. And in this World Series is 4 for 13 with RBIs on all 4 of his hits. 2 home runs. A double play would end the game.
Craig has walked in one appearance against Neftali Feliz.
Craig, a very good low fastball hitter. And if you're going to throw him a fastball, obviously you need to get ahead, but it needs to be away from him. And a breaking ball is a better choice if you can get it in for a strike.
First pitch, breaking ball, it's low. Now remember, Feliz hit Craig with a pitch, with a curveball, last time he saw him.
Yep.
Kinsler is swung toward the middle at second base. It's 7-5 Rangers. Pujols at second, Berkman at first. Freeze on deck. The 1-0 pitch. It's low, it's 2-0. Terrio struck out to start the inning. Pujols doubled. Berkman walked. Now Feliz reaches down and fidgets with the bottom of his uniform pants. Leans way over, something he does to regain his focus. He's missed on 8 of his 12 pitches since coming into the game here in the ninth with a 7-5 lead. It's still 7-5. 2 men on, 1 out. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one is in there at the top of the zone. A fastball at 98, and it's 2-1. And now walking out in front of the plate is Mike Napoli, putting on the defensive signs in case Tony La Russa decides to start his runners here. Pujols from second, Berkman from first. Kinsler swung way over toward the middle at second. Elvis cheats toward the middle at short, hoping to turn a game-ending and World Series-ending double play. Beltre guards the line at third base. Moreland does not guard the line at first. He's off at about 18 feet. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch. Swung on and lined down the left field line, hooking foul. Craig out in front of a 97-mile-an-hour fastball hit a wicked hooking shot. The count is 2-2, and Napoli's going out to talk to Neffy.
Didn't quite get that in. It was a pretty good fastball at 97 or 98. But Craig very quick on the fastball. He's able to pull that trigger in a hurry.
Napoli has had his say. He returns behind the plate. Pujols, hands on his hips, walks away from second base. Berkman the runner at first. Berkman's the tying run. There's 1 out. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And here it comes. Fouled back, a breaking ball, and lunging for the pitch. Craig was able to spoil it.
Now, even though it wasn't a very good breaking ball as far as location is concerned, the off-speed got him enough out in front that he was not able to have a real good swing at it.
So Alan Craig steps back in there. A guy who during the regular year hit .315, hit 11 homers and 200 at-bats. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Breaking ball, strike 3 call. There's the second out as Craig was frozen by a crackling curve.
Well, Feliz had started that ball right at Craig, and he had seen enough fastballs up and inside that he wanted no part of it when it left Nefty's hands. You know, with Feliz throwing, you don't have a whole lot of time to decide whether that's a fastball or a breaking ball. And Craig using the idea that probably a better idea just to tip my hat and go back for another at-bat some other time, got out of the way.
The Rangers are 1 out away from a World Series championship in their 40th year. They said after last year's World Series they had unfinished business. They're 1 out away from taking care of it. Freeze is the hitter. He's 0 for 3 and a walk. He has never faced Neftali Feliz. Pujols at second, Berkman at first. Molina would be next. 7-5 Rangers. Feliz to the set. He kicks and comes home. Breaking ball outside. He curved him and he missed with it for ball 1. Beltre guarding the line at third base.
In the outfield, the Rangers have Hamilton a couple of steps toward right center. Murphy backed up in left center. A 1-ball count on Freese. And the pitch, breaking ball, and that one is over the inside edge. It's 1-1. Freese, the NLCS MVP. Trying to keep the Cardinals' hopes alive now in the bottom of the ninth, Game 6 of the World Series. First and second, 2 outs, a 1-1 count. Feliz, a long look in, now steps back off the rubber. And Napoli will go out to talk to him. You don't want any miscommunication right now.
No, Nephew decided, it looked like, after seeing the signs and saying, nah, that was probably the right pitch. He wanted Napa to go back through it, and Mike did the right thing. Just as you suggested, Eric, going out there to make sure not only that Nephew is sold on the idea of the pitch, but that he's committed to making as good a pitch as he can with that one.
The count is 1-1. Here's the set. The pitch is on the way. Swing and a miss on a fastball down and away. And the Cardinals are down to their final strike as the count is 1-2 on David Freese. 7-5 Texas, 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. Feliz has the sign. Here's the set. The 1-2 pitch, swung on, high fly ball to right. Going back is Nelson Cruz. He's on the track, at the wall, he can't get it. It's beyond his reach. 1 run is home, 2 runs are home. The game is tied at 7. Over to third goes Freese, and he is safe with a triple.
Unbelievable. At some point in time, I guess it figured it was going to come back and bite Neffy, and that walk to Berkman certainly did.
Well, now with the runner at third and the game tied at 7, Yadier Molina has a chance to win it for the Cardinals. Or else we go to extra innings. Seven.
All right, calm it down. Make sure you go out and get Molina now and take it into extra frame.
Here's the pitch. It is low. The Rangers thought they had won the game. They thought Cruz was going to catch it from the reaction of the Ranger players.
Nelly went back okay on the ball. As soon as he hit the warning track, though, he started to slow up. And I don't know whether he thought he had it measured or whether he thought he was getting too close to the wall.
A 1-ball count on Yadier Molina. Feliz set, and here's the pitch. Swung on, fly ball to Cruz again. Back toward the corner, he's there, he's got it. We are going to extra innings. The Rangers giving up another lead. Their second blown save of the game. This one came with 2 outs and 2 strikes. And after 9, it's the Rangers 7 and the Cardinals 7. Eric Nadel with Steve Busby at Busch Stadium. How do the Rangers bounce back from this? We're going to the 10th at 7-7. Here's Buzz.
All right, Eric, thank you. It'll be Ian Kinsler to start things off. And, boy, so far this year, though, the ball club has been able to bounce back from pretty precarious spots, but they've got one of the worst right now going. A 7-7 game. Kinsler, starting things off, goes after the first pitch and pops it up. Shallow right field, backpedaling is Pujols, and he puts it away about 15 feet onto the outfield grass for out number 1. And before Elvis Andrews steps in, let's take 10 seconds for station identification on the Texas Ranger ESPN Radio Network.
The home of the Rangers, the playoffs, and the World Series.
Hamilton swings and hits a bomb. Absolutely.
KESN FM and KESN HD1 Allen, Dallas, Fort Worth.
The 1 out, nobody aboard. Elvis Andrus will step to the plate. 1 out of 5 tonight for the Rangers shortstop. Andrus, a first inning single since then, is lined to right, fly to left, grounded out, and struck out. Jason Mott back to the plate. First pitch inside. A 98-mile-an-hour fastball missed, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Mott starting his second inning of work. He came on to pitch the top of the ninth. Worked around a 1-out walk to Mike Napoli with no damage. Next pitch to Elvis. Round ball headed towards center field, a base hit. And Elvis Andrus, the go-ahead run now here in the 10th inning, aboard with a 1-out single, and it will bring Josh Hamilton to the plate. That is the 13th hit tonight for the Rangers off of Cardinal pitching. Andrus with his second is aboard. And we'll see what Ron Washington does now as far as the green light, the red light, or the yellow light for Elvis. Josh Hamilton is 2 out of 5. Couple of singles, RBI produced in the first inning. And he has been up there hacking at virtually everything he's seen tonight. First time he is going to face Jason Mott. Mott shaking the head a couple of times, now agrees with Yadier Molina. And he will go first base way, and Elvis back with a dive.
In the Ranger bullpen, Darren Oliver is warming up. They have a couple of lefties due to start the inning, Descalso and Jay, and then the pitcher spot, and they're out of pinch hitters.
Mott ready. And the pitch to Hamilton, swung on and belted. High and deep to right field. Going back, here's Berkman. He's at the wall. Goodbye. Josh Hamilton, a 2-run home run. Elvis Andrus will score in front of him, and the Rangers have regained the lead. It is 9-7.
His first home run of the postseason. He hadn't hit a home run since September the 23rd. What a time to do it. In his 66th postseason at bat.
Jason Mott had a 97-mile-an-hour fastball turned around by Hamilton. Drove it out just to the center field side of the Cardinals bullpen. And oh my goodness, folks, if you know anybody that's listening or watching and has a bad ticker, you might want to tell them it's okay now. They can calm down a little bit. Here's Mitch Moreland for his second at bat of the night. He takes Lone outside for ball 1.
You think so?
Whoa. Well, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, I ought to know better by now.
They do have the bottom of the order coming up.
Mott to Moreland, and the pitch is high. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Mitch tapped back to the mound in the 8th inning after he took over defensively from Michael Young. Now, the Rangers 9 runs on 14 hits. 3 of those 14 hits have left the ballpark tonight. 2-0 pitch to Moreland. He swings and skies one to center field. Jay starts back a couple of steps, now has to come back in toward the infield and puts it away for out number 2. So 2 gone, base is empty. Adrian Beltre now will step in. Beltre untied the game the last time it had been tied up with a leadoff home run in the 7th inning. That broke a 4-4 game. And Nelson Cruz, who will be up next, followed with another home run. And Beltre takes a pitch low and inside for ball 1. Back-to-back home runs in that inning, and then the Rangers pushed across another run, a 2-out Ian Kinsler single, to make that a 3-run 7th and take a 7-4 lead. Next pitch to Beltre, fastball thrown right on by him. Big hack and a miss, and it's 2-1, or make that 1-1. Cardinals came back with run 1 in the bottom of the 8th to make it 7-5, and then 2-out triple. Made it a 7-7 ball game in the bottom of the 9th. And then Josh Hamilton pounding one out to right center field after Elvis Andrus had a 1-out single. And the Rangers back on top 9-7. A ball and 2 strikes the count. to Beltre. Mott back to him, and Beltre pops it up. Foul territory, first base side. Molina over to have a look, but that's about 7 or 8 rows back. And out of play.
The Cardinals have come from behind 4 times to tie this game up.
The only time they have had the lead in this game was in the first inning. Lance Berkman's 2-run home run made it a 2-1 Cardinal lead. Oh, it has just been crazy. Mott ready once again, and the 2-2 is a hot shot to third, knocked down by Freese. He sidearms after he recovers, throws, and gets it. So Beltre hit it right on the button, but Freese robbed him, and the Rangers come up big in the 10th inning. Josh Hamilton's 2-run home run will go to the bottom of the 10th inning. Game 6 of the World Series. Rangers leading the Cardinals 9-7. All right, the Rangers will try it once again here in the bottom of the 10th inning, and it will be the 41-year-old left-hander Darren Oliver on to see if they can close out yet another lead here tonight. And this would be the last lead they have to close out of the season. Daniel Descalso to start things off, and Darren Oliver drops a breaking ball in and over for strike 1. Lefty versus lefty. Descalso came on and got a pinch hit single in the 8th inning. Another breaking ball outside this time. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Darren Oliver appearing in his 3rd ball game in this World Series. He's 1-0 in his first 2 games. Fastball just missed low, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. And Darren Oliver looking into Gary Cederstrom like, you've got to be kidding me.
Well, welcome to Gary Cederstrom's world.
Exactly.
Where a pitch at the knees is not a strike.
Oliver ready. The 2-1 pitch, fastball fouled away to the left. And Oliver now with a 2-2 count on Descalso.
Scott Feldman, the righty, is warming in the Ranger bullpen.
Descalso to be followed by John Jay, a couple of left-handed hitters, and back to the top of the order, and that's the spot where the pitcher's hitting, Jason Mott. Oliver's 2-2, cued foul. Pretty good breaking ball, and Descalso just able to get a piece of it to stay alive. Oliver, the 6th pitcher for the Rangers tonight. Colby Lewis started, Alexi Ogando, Derek Holland, Mike Adams, Nefty Feliz, and Oliver. 2-2 pitch, grounded foul outside first, and the count remains even. Dave McKay, the first base coach, clapping his hands as he got out of the way of that ball. Outfield playing Descalso around to the left. Josh Hamilton a good 10 or 15 steps toward the gap in left center field. Nelly cruising right fairly shallow. David Murphy well toward the line. 2-2 pitch hit in the air down the left field line. A trio of Rangers in pursuit, but that ball will be back about 5 rows as Adrian Beltre, the closest one to it, kind of rolled himself up on top of the barrier down there and peered over at someone's soft drink there in the first row. Decided he didn't want any of that, so he's going back to his position. Still 2-2. Now David Murphy, after that foul ball, comes in a couple of steps, even more shallow than he was before. Oliver again with the 2-2. Breaking ball, base hit to right field. It stayed up. And Descalso with a leadoff single. Cruz bobbled it momentarily, but Descalso hanging on with a leadoff base hit, and here come the Cardinals again. Descalso aboard, John Jay coming up. Now, you watch a game like this, you can understand why the Cardinals were able to come back time and time again during the regular season. Come back from 10.5 games down in the latter stages of August. August 25th, they trailed by 10.5 games in the wild card, came back to win it on the last day, and have had a Cinderella story. First pitch to Jay is a fastball, call strike on the inside corner.
Their resilience is amazing. They have Edwin Jackson on deck. They're out of pinch hitters, but Jackson batted .308 this year.
Oliver ready, a check with Descalso. And the pitch, Jay loops one into left field. Coming on is Murphy in a hurry. He can't get there. It falls for a base hit. Stopping at second is Descalso. And the Cardinals with back-to-back singles have the tying runs aboard with nobody out here in the 10th inning. Just a little flare off the bat of John Jay, and it fell in no man's land about 10 feet fair down the left field line.
Well, it's a bunting situation for Jackson, the starting pitcher in game 4 who will pinch hit here. Mike Maddox is going out to the mound. Scott Feldman is ready in the bullpen. It appears that Oliver is going to stay in the ballgame right now.
Jackson will come on as the pinch hitter, and a couple of things to get Scott Feldman a little more of an opportunity to get loose, but you want to make sure the bunt defense is set up the way you need to have it. And also probably going to make Darren Oliver aware that, hey, Edwin Jackson not a bad hitter if he decides to bunt. Now Jackson's being called back, and he will be replaced by Kyle Loesch, who is a better bunter but probably not as good a hitter. So Loesch will hit for Jackson.
So Jackson's been announced. He can no longer appear in this game as a pitcher.
Well, Kyle Loesch on here being asked to bunt. He's already squaring around, and the way Rangers have the wheel play on, the pitch down and in, almost hit him. And the appeal down to first base, and Jerry Lane said, nope, it didn't hit him and he didn't go around. It's ball 1.
Yeah, the Rangers had Elvis breaking over to cover third base. Beltre and Moreland charging. Kinsler going over toward first. Now, Loesch hit 175 during the regular season.
Not bad. He can swing the bat a little bit. But he's being asked here to bunt, and we'll see if the Rangers change up their defense at all. Oliver ready. Loesch again around a bunt, and the bunt is popped up. It's by Oliver. On the field it is Elvis over to first. They just do get Loesch, and Loesch almost bunted into a double. He bunted the ball past the charging Beltre, past the charging Oliver, and fortunately, backing the whole play up was Andrews, who was going over to cover third, and he recovered in time to get the out at first.
An amazingly athletic play both by Elvis and by Kinsler, who was just arriving at first and had to stretch way out to his right to flag down that throw.
So the sacrifice goes 6-4. Have an unlikely sacrifice on a bunt, but that's what it is. Runners at second and third now. The tying run is at second, and Ryan Theriot is going to be the hitter.
And on deck is Albert Pujols. You play the infield back here. You don't care if that runner from third scores on and out. But Ron Washington is going to call for Scott Feldman, with Theriot and Pujols right-handed batters coming up.
So Ron Washington going out, and he's got to feel a little beleaguered right now. He's had two leads late in the ball game, one from the 9th and once here in the 10th. He's seen one slip away, and he's seen the Cardinals put the tying runs at second and third with just one out. And the heart of the order getting ready to come up. He's asked here to finish the biggest game for the Rangers in 2011.
Now keep in mind, he was a reliever in the minors. He had 23 saves before being converted to a starting pitcher. He's never had one in the major leagues.
So Descalso, the runner at third. John Jay, the runner at second. He has very good speed. And Ryan Theriot will be the hitter. Theriot on since the 7th inning is 0 for 2. He came on to take the place of Lance Lynn, the pitcher. Hit in that spot as Tony La Russa made a double switch. Feldman ready. And the right-hander's first pitch, a big breaking ball, and that finds the strike zone. Feldman coming in with a 78-mile-an-hour curveball.
And there's no one up behind Feldman. This inning belongs to Scott. Theriot's never faced him before.
Terrio hits out of a pretty deep crouch. Wide stance, Feldman working from the stretch. The 0-1 pitch, another breaking ball. That's cued foul into the Cardinal dugout. So Feldman on a couple of slow breaking balls is ahead in the count, 0-2. That's probably Feldman's third best pitch, but he's been able to get ahead with it to Terrio. Maybe thinking that the scouting report would play against him if he didn't. Feldman okays the sign. And the right-hander ready. The 0-2 pitch, fastball fouled away. Ran a good sinker down and in on Terrio's fist. And it's still 0-2. Feldman, throughout this postseason, has been used pretty extensively. This is 8th postseason appearance. He's 1-0 with a 2.19. He's really done a good job for the Rangers. Right-handers ready once again. Again, the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball just outside as Terrio kind of leaned on it and took it for ball 1. David Murphy in left field playing way off the line for Terrio, a right-handed hitter. Josh Hamilton in center, not real deep, but over toward right center. Feldman a check of the runners and the 1-2 pitch. Chopper hit toward third. Beltre has it. The play is to first. He is out at first. Terrio's gone. In to score is Descalso. And that will bring up Albert Pujols as the winning run with the tying run at second base. 2 outs in the 10th inning.
Well, do you walk the winning run on base if it's Albert Pujols and you have a hot-hitting Lance Berkman on deck? What a choice for Ron Washington. Pujols is 1 for 2 lifetime against Feldman, and he will be walked.
Yep. I don't think there's any doubt about it. What you have to do here, you have to make a guy like Berkman beat you. So Albert Pujols will get his 5th intentional pass of this series, and it will be on the shoulders of Lance Berkman. A 9-8 Ranger lead here in the 10th inning as the third wide one is delivered. John Jay with very good speed out at second base. Albert Pujols looks at the 4th wide one pass. He will be on at first. He represents the winning run. And Mike Maddox going to go out and talk with Scott Feldman and Mike Napoli as Lance Berkman comes to the plate.
Berkman lifetime against Feldman, Buzz, 4 for 10, a couple of walks.
Maybe he's overconfident. You think? Mike Maddox out having a chat with Scott Feldman and with Mike Napoli.
Well, Scott's thrown the ball very well this postseason, with the exception of one poor outing in this World Series when he couldn't locate his pitches as part of the 16-7 St. Louis shellacking of the Rangers in Game 3.
Well, Mike Maddox finished, and Mike Napoli going back behind the plate. Scott Feldman has just become the closer, and I'm going to bring in the closer to make this call for you. Once again, here's Eric Nadel.
Oh, thanks, Buzz. I appreciate that. Berkman, the hitter, runners at first and second and 2 outs. Switch hitter batting left. Once again, the Cardinals down to their final out. It's 9-8 Rangers. The outfield playing no doubles. Remember, the Cardinals tied it with 2 outs in the 9th when Cruz wasn't deep enough and the ball got over his head in right field for a 2-run triple by Freese. Feldman is set. A long pause, and here it comes. Swung on and fouled back. He threw a fastball in on Berkman's hands.
Got that cutter in there and got it in a pretty good spot. Kept it in there, watching the TV replay. That had no thought of tailing back to the middle of the plate. Good pitch by Scott.
Berkman has scored 4 of the Cardinal runs today. 9-8 Rangers, 2 outs, bottom of the 10th. Runners at first and second. The set by Feldman. The 0-1 pitch just missed inside. The fastball at 93. The inning started with a base hit by Descalso and a base hit by Jay. Then a sacrifice bunt by pinch-hitting pitcher Loesch. Terrio grounded into the second, out driving in a run. Pujols was walked intentionally. And here we are with a 1-1 count on Berkman. Craig on deck. Feldman is ready, and here comes the pitch. Swung on and fouled at the plate. And again, the Cardinals are down to the final strike The same count we had last inning when David Freese tripled home, 2 runs to tie the game at 7. Now the Rangers lead 9-8 after Josh Hamilton hit a 2-run homer in the top of the 10th off Jason Mock. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Berkman. Feldman the set, and here it comes inside. Fastball darting off the plate, and it's 2-2. Andrews toward the middle at short. Kinsler on the outfield grass at second. Moreland a step and a dive off the line at deep first. Beltre off the line about 25 feet at third. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Here's the set by Feldman, and the pitch swung on in a little bloop. Center field, it's a base hit. Rounding third is Jay. He will score, and the game is tied again. It's the Cardinals 9 and the Rangers 9.
Feldman tried to come back with that cutter and actually made a pretty good pitch. You have to give Berkman some credit. He was able to get enough of the bat on the ball to loop it into center field. And boy, the Cardinals just keep on coming back, and the Rangers can't find any way, at least tonight, to shut the door on it.
It's the 5th time the Cardinals have come from behind to tie the game, and the 3rd blown save for the Ranger bullpen. Now Pujols is at third, the winning run. Berkman over at first base, and Alan Craig will be the hitter with 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th. Craig has homered and struck out. Moreland will not hold the runner. He'll play behind him and off the line at first base. Unbelievable. Tied at 9, bottom of the 10th inning. Feldman set, here's the pitch, and he missed with it low as on indifference, Berkman proceeds down to second base. Pujols, the winning run, is at third. So the intentional walk this time backfired. One and 0 on Craig, Freese on deck. The 1-0 pitch, swung on and a bouncing ball, slowly hit to Beltre at third. He sets, he throws, he got him. We are going to the 11th inning. 2 runs for the Cardinals on 3 hits. 2 men left. We've completed 10. It's the Cardinals 9 and the Rangers 9 on the Texas Rangers ESPN radio network. Jake Westbrook will be the new pitcher for the Cardinals as we go to the 11th inning with the Rangers and Cards tied at 9. One of the most unbelievable games we have ever seen in a World Series filled with one astonishing game after another. This one surpasses them all. 9 runs, 14 hits, 2 errors for the Rangers, 11 men left. 9 runs, 12 hits, 3 errors for the Cardinals, 11 men left. Westbrook, who was a starting pitcher for the Cardinals all season, worked an inning in relief on Sunday in Game 4. Worked a shutout inning, gave up a leadoff single to Nelly Cruz, and it'll be Cruz to lead off here against the sinker baller. Cruz, Napoli, and Murphy do. 11th inning, tied at 9, and the first pitch to Cruz is way outside for ball 1. Cruz tonight, a home run in the 7th inning. He's gone 1 for 5, but remember, just barely missed catching a fly ball by David Freese that would have ended the World Series. It went for a triple. 1-0 pitch swung on, and there's a drive hit well, right center field. Not well enough. Berkman back into the alley. He reaches and snags it just in front of the warning track. And Cruz is retired. There's a 1 down, and Mike Napoli will be the batter. Napoli tonight has walked 3 times. He has singled to right to drive in a run and struck out. He's also picked a runner off third base. In the postseason, Westbrook has only had that one appearance of 1 inning against the Rangers. During the regular year, 33 starts, a 12-9 record, a 4.66 ERA. And here's the pitch. Napoli takes tight for ball 1 as Mark Lowe begins loosening out in the Ranger pen. 1-0 to Napoli, and it almost hits him. Breaking ball inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Westbrook, 34 years old, from Athens, Georgia. 6'3", 215-pounder. Spent several years with the Cleveland Indians. This is second year with St. Louis. The 2-0 pitch. Napoli swings. It's a little looper to right. In comes Berkman, and it falls in front. Berkman playing no doubles and gives up a single as Napoli is on with 1 out. And David Murphy is coming up next, tied at 9 in the top of the 11th inning.
Well, that's the 5th time that Mike Napoli has been on in 6 trips to the plate tonight. 3 walks and 2 singles. That's a pretty productive night for a guy that's playing on 1 leg after turning that ankle earlier.
The Rangers haven't been able to get him home. Murphy, the batter. David came on as a pinch hitter for Gentry in the 5th. He's 1 for 2, a single and a walk. Westbrook to the plate, and it's a little tight to Murphy. The pitcher spot is due next, and Yorvit Turrialba is making his way to the on-deck circle as Scott Feldman is the scheduled hitter next. 1-0 on Murphy, and here's the pitch. Fastball, strike. That one just nipped the inside corner, and it's 1-1. The Rangers still have Mark Lowe available in their bullpen. He's warming now. They have lefty Mike Gonzalez available in their bullpen. The 1-1 pitch, swung on and a high pop fly to short center field. John Jay coming on underneath this one. He corrals it, and there are 2 outs. Tied at 9 in the 11th. Let's see what Ron Washington chooses to do. He might need Scott Feldman to stay in the game. Lowe could probably give him an inning. Gonzalez could give him an inning. And after that, Wash would probably have to go with tomorrow's scheduled starting pitcher, Matt Harrison. And it will be the pitcher, Scott Feldman, batting here. So Feldman making his way to the plate, with Wash having already used Ogando, Holland, Adams, Feliz, and Oliver. Now Esteban Herman comes out of the Ranger dugout after Feldman had started toward home plate. Apparently the Rangers were just killing time there to let Herman get loosened up, I think.
Well, maybe they found another pitcher. I don't see.
Maybe they found Herman.
Yeah.
So Herman will bat here. Veteran utility player who was called up in September. He'll bat with Napoli at first, 2 outs. Top of the 11th. Herman does have some pop. He had a long home run at Fenway Park back in September. 33-year-old Dominican. He's a lifetime 278 big league hitter with 8 home runs. In the World Series, 0 for 2. He has pinch hit twice. Kinsler would be next. Napoli, slow runner, short lead at first. The outfield moves in now against Herman. And here's the pitch. Fastball wide from Westbrook, ball 1. So Feldman is out of the ball game now. And Mark Lowe will pitch the bottom of the 11th. A 1-ball count. The pitch to Herman. Swung on, bouncing ball to second base. Right to Terrio. Over to first. Got him. And we're heading to the bottom of the 11th. No runs on a hit. 1 left after 10.5 innings. Rangers 9, Cardinals 9. here in the World Series, he has worked just 1 inning, giving up a run on 2 hits. And the only inning he has pitched since mid-September. Low out of UT Arlington, a native of Houston, comes in a 9-9 tie. David Murphy is now the Ranger right fielder with Hamilton in center and Herman in left. Freese, Molina, and Descalso are the hitters due for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 11th inning. Freese had the 2-run triple that tied the game in the ninth on a 1-2 pitch with 2 outs just beyond the reach of Cruz on the warning track. High set by Lowe, and the pitch is a fastball very high. Mark Lowe, 28 years old, 6'3", 210-pounder, acquired by the Rangers from Seattle along with Cliff Lee last year in July. He's a hard thrower with a slider and a change. And the pitch. He missed outside with the slider, and he's behind 2-0. This is a 9-9 tie in the bottom of the 11th. The Rangers have given up the lead 5 times. Michael Gonzalez, the lefty, is warming in the Ranger pen. (2-0), and here's the pitch, and he missed very badly up high. It's 3-0. Beltre guarding the line at third base. Moreland way off the line at first. Figure Freese is taken here against the guy who's only pitched 1 inning in about 6 weeks.
Yep.
And the 3-0 strike just barely at the belt on a fastball. It's 3-1. Twice tonight, the Rangers were a strike away from winning the World Series, only to give up the game-tying hit. The 3-1 fouled back. It sounds unbelievable, and yet it's true. Freese, a 2-run triple in the 9th inning. Berkman, an RBI bloop single in the 10th. Freese's hit came off Feliz. Berkman's hit came off Feldman. Earlier, Alexi Ogando had gotten a blown save. 3 balls, 2 strikes, payoff pitch, swung on, high fly ball to center field. Hamilton going back, he's on the track, he's at the wall, it is gone, and the Cardinals have won it. A walk-off home run by David Freese. Cardinals 10, Rangers 9. There will be a 7th game tomorrow night. The Cardinals mob Freese at home plate. He tied the game with a 2-run triple in the 9th. He wins it with a leadoff home run here in the bottom of the 11th inning. An absolutely stunning loss for the Rangers. And if we're stunned up here, Buzz, what could it possibly be like in the Ranger dugout right now?
It is, I'm not going to say doom and gloom, but it's about as low as this ball club has been at any point during the season, I would think, Eric. They will bounce back. They will find a way to rebound and play solidly tomorrow. But for right now, boy, this is gut-wrenching. I mean, it just rips it right out of you. When you know you've had the opportunities tonight that you have, given up the lead 5 separate times. The only times the Cardinals led tonight were in the 1st and in the 11th. And the 2-run home run by Berkman in the 1st gave them a 2-1 lead. And then Freese leadoff home run in the 11th wins the ball game for him 10-9.
Absolutely incredible. The Cardinals in the last 4 innings scored 7 runs off the Ranger bullpen. And it's winner take all tomorrow night. Matt Harrison will pitch for the Rangers. We don't know who will go for the Cardinals. We would guess Chris Carpenter, but Edwin Jackson would be an option. Kyle Loesch
would be an option for Tony La Russa. We'll try to recap this one for you on our postgame show. It's coming up next on the Texas Rangers ESPN Radio Network.